Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Seal Podcast, episode number 141 for September the 9th, 2022. I'm now just going to read the date every week. I can't, it just seems easier than trying
You
to
know
come
what?
up with something
I've
different.
just
At
realised
least
I've not done the fucking stream thing, but yeah.
I don't even know what that means. What does that mean? You've not done
You
the
know,
stream
like
thing?
telling everyone it's episode 141. Like that's what I've just realised.
That's all right. I just told them
Carry on.
anyway. My name is Fraser. I'm joined on my left by Neil.
Hi.
And on my right by Dave.
Hello.
And special guest star Mike Chin has joined us this week.
Hello.
Mike, it's
Hey,
good to
Mike.
see you.
Very good to see you. I can see you in video form. I can see all of you. I can see
Nice, isn't it?
Dave's dirty man cave. That's what I'm pleased about.
Yeah, right. So you're
Excellent.
just telling. So now we know that Mike never watches the live show.
No.
No, because I
He did once when he had COVID. I remember him being in the chat when he had COVID.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm glad you remember. You get, you gotta tune. But I don't watch the live one because,
Why spoil it?
when I'm driving and doing stuff. So that's when
You're
I
usually
listen to my
busy. You're usually
podcasts.
busy. Well, we do invite you quite often actually to come pick up a
You
chair.
do.
You're one of our faves.
You do. Thank you.
And then just on the off chance, give you a shout tonight, and you've joined us. Pilch can't be with us, I'm afraid. He's not here this week.
Good.
So yeah, fuck that guy. Just joking, Pilch. Love you, my swimming buddy. Yeah, life is good. So life is good for some of us. Of course, country and morning. Mike brought it up just before we started.
Well, I asked, how do you feel about your childhood neighbour passing away? Because you are from her hood. She's part of your yard.
She is from my hood.
Your ends. She's from your ends.
I believe she's going to be buried in Windsor as well.
She is going to be
interred in Windsor, however it is interred or interred doesn't sound
Is that
right.
like when you have to do a job for no money, isn't it? Intern.
Interred is a very different kind of burial to me. Yeah. So because I went to your mother and father's house when you came over randomly, and you said, "Oh yeah, we used to regularly see Liz driving around in a Land Rover."
In a Lambo.
Yeah,
Lambo.
my dad would walk the dog every weekend in the Great Park, and he'd often see the Royals swanning about
foxes
up
or
and
something.
down, doing whatever they were doing. So yeah. You know what? I'm a semi-royalist. It's one of those very strange things. I don't quite understand how the royals fit into society these days.
It's your head of state. What are you talking about?
But
you Canadians.
Well, one of the I had to go out today for work, and a lot of people were asking me about it. And I think the thing I said to everybody was the thing about Liz, and I go, let's call her Liz. She's a friend. Is that she was a constant, right? She's always been the queen throughout all our lives, pretty much throughout all our parents' lives as well. Mm-hmm. And she wasn't an asshole, right? As far as we know. I mean, maybe that could be up for debate in terms of some stuff, maybe with Diana. But generally, I mean, compared to what we have to deal with today in terms of politicians and the people who are supposedly running things in our interest, the queen is a saint compared to that, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, tinge of sadness. I'm not crying my eyes out, but Can
I tell you about? I mean, I suppose I heard the news in probably the most appropriate building in the world. Well, not in the world, but like in definitely my area, where I was in the Birmingham Cathedral.
Okay.
At an event, a smoozy event, which I did not want to be there.
I'm sorry, what type of event?
Smoozy.
What's that?
So it's like when you've got it's a business card swapping event. Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you do? Can you make me money?
Do you all put your business cards in a big bowl at the beginning?
I wish that'd be quicker.
Were you filming the event, or were you touting for business?
Well, we got invited to it, so I had to go. But this is also the Queen's death. That event and why I'm eating toast is all related.
Okay.
Right. Because See, I've got you in. I've hooked you
Yeah,
in.
I know. Yeah,
Right.
it's Mike's sort of brought us
How
into
is
the
he doing
story,
that?
and yeah,
Ham. So yesterday, on the 8th of September, when our Majesty passed away, I was having a particularly bad day with my bells.
Oh,
And I remember going to the toilet thinking that
You can
wasn't
remember
very.
that from yesterday.
Yeah. And I'd rather forget it, Fraser, to be honest. And I remember, emptying myself and thinking, well, that wasn't pleasant, but I have to go to Birmingham now to do this thing. And when I was driving there, I was like, I really should not be going to this event. This is edgy, right? And I remember just walking to it going, oh, God, this is awful. And then I was in the cathedral and I knew no one, right? I knew nobody. And then eventually I started to like talk to people and and all that sort of stuff. And then the priest came over the mic and was like, I would like to make an announcement. And I was like, what the hell is going on? I thought that I looked up, I thought it was the Lord. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm a non-believer. And and he says, unfortunately, we're going to have to cancel the event because Her Majesty the Queen has passed away. I was like, fuck it, look, this is sad news because old lady that everybody loved, I've got no beef with. Maybe a non-son I've got a problem with, but her, no beef, right? Which is
a
sad news.
non-son
We're
or a
all
nonce son?
non-son. So I've got no beef with her, but like this is really sad news. But then I really do need to take a shit. So um, I was quite happy that that event got very, very cancelled. But not happy that the Queen died, but also very happy that the event got cancelled. But this
Every
priest read it.
cloud has a silver
Every
lining.
cloud.
So
So this
you had to go to
this
the throne room quite
yeah, I
quickly then,
did.
to say.
But like the priest announced it and was like, "Oh, we're going to have to cancel the event." And I'm like, "That's really sad. It's really sad that the Queen's died, but I am gone." All right. And he says, "Before we go, can we do a minute silence?" I went, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
Oh, they're going to be lapping it up, aren't they? Though
Yeah.
I mean,
He says,
that's
"We
it.
have to open the cathedral to let the public mourn." And during the minute silence, there was bloody Shakademus and Pliers playing outside. I was like, I don't think they're mourning. I don't think they know.
Nicodemus,
And
wow. Were they there in
and then
person? That's what I want to know.
yeah, probably. It was a busker, and it turned out to be them. And then I was walking back to my car, like I was by Birmingham New Street station. I was walking back to my car, and this like young lad pulled up in his car next to me and was like, "The Queen's died. The Queen's died." I went, "Like, are you a town crier? Like, what are you doing?"
That's how they
This
do
is
it
Honestly, I
these
this
know.
person's
days.
taking it upon themselves. It's like,
I hope it
I
was in a
have a job
Vauxhall
now.
Corsa or something.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
this is my role. I'm telling everybody.
It was very strange, but
People like to
that's
announce the news, though, don't they? I mean, like
yeah.
I tried to
That's
slip it in to be the first on a couple of people. Like, oh, did you know? My wife came
yeah.
to tell me. I was like, I already know.
Yeah, everybody knew. So
Right.
that's going to be my "Where were you when the Queen died?" I was like, well, I desperately needed a poo, so I was.
Spoilers for later.
I was
We
quite-
were in the bayou.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So that's why I'm eating toast, dry toast, and a banana, which I hate. I hate bananas, but I'm eating one.
They bung you up, do they?
They're very good for your digestive system. Apparently,
Lots
I'm
of
feeling
fiber.
better today, so
Good.
Yeah.
yeah, it's fine.
What
Anyway,
about
cool.
what about you two? How did you take the news? How are you feeling about it?
Well, it's sad, isn't it? For someone, whenever someone passes, it's sad, no matter who they are.
It's sad.
But
I
it is
bl- I
weird.
blew.
It is a bit
I
weird.
blew.
Like little things you
I,
think about, like when the next national anthem comes on. That's going to sound a bit weird.
that's weird.
There was a piece of news that I thought was quite funny. In Canada, when they swear people in to um,
Citizenship.
the
Yeah.
citizenship, they didn't know who to swear allegiance to, so they
No,
had to
I don't know
cancel the event.
how they. I don't know. I saw that headline. I didn't read it, but I don't quite understand how they got so confused about it. I mean, I would have
Well,
thought
he's a
they could
king
have
now.
figured that. Yeah. Right.
King.
I think what it was is they didn't know his name because it wasn't automatically going to
They
be
didn't know
King
his
Charles.
name.
No,
He's
No,
fucking over 70. They've been around long enough. They should fucking know
No,
who
but
he
you
is by
no,
can
now.
but
you
they
can
change it. Like
yeah
Queen
you can
Elizabeth
change your
wasn't.
name.
What,
Yeah, he had
Charles?
his name was announced officially yesterday afternoon, wasn't it?
So when they asked, famously, when they asked Liz, like, what do you want your name to be? Her actual quote was,
Well, her queen name.
"Well, Elizabeth, of course." So that's what she said. But you can officially change your name when you become king or queen. So
Oh,
I'm a bit of an
man.
expert now
He
'cause
should
I've
have
been
been
watching Channel 4 for
King
about 2 hours.
Chuckademus. Wasn't he? King Chuckademus and
Yeah.
Pliers is what he should have chosen. That would have been brilliant.
Can I
Yeah.
just ask, where did Chakademus and Pliers come from? Because Chakademus and Pliers has been mentioned before amongst us. Where did that come from?
Because
Well, it was
there was
90s.
somebody. What do you mean? Why did we talking about it, or where did they come from?
No, did you recognize the Chakademus and Pliers song?
Tease me,
Yeah.
tease me, isn't it?
Tease me,
Is that
tease
what
me.
that is?
It's
I don't
such an
know.
appropriate tune for the Queen dying.
Somebody during the minute silence, right? I don't know if you've ever been to the cathedral in Birmingham, but it's like bang in the middle of Birmingham, and there was just some busker or something playing Tease Me during the minute silence. And I went, you know what? It's what she
Perfect.
would have wanted. It's what she would have wanted. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Well, yeah, I guess that's the big piece of news. But yeah, so there has been an effect, actually. The knock-on effect for us is that there's no football. So let's move on to.
Oh, has it all been
Hey,
cancelled
well,
now? Is it?
Yeah, everything's
Football's been
cancelled.
cancelled for the
Kids
I
weekend.
couldn't-
football,
Yeah.
everything.
Okay. I
I
knew
couldn't
they
have
were
picked
thinking
a
about it.
better week to be on the show, could I?
Oh, we're
'Cause
still going to talk
football's
about last
cancelled.
week. Don't worry.
Fucking
You eat your banana and be quiet.
I'm going to eat my banana.
Neil, what do we got on the football?
Well,
I don't even want to talk about it. I've just having a nightmare.
I think
Don't.
Pilch is still the top seal. But I did close the gap a little bit last week. You didn't.
I did not.
Where is he? Oh, yeah. So,
Oh, you've got it on the screen, Neil.
yes,
Look
mate.
at this.
Check it.
Bloody hell. I
It's all
didn't know you went pro.
Mate, you want to tune in more regular. It's all gone good.
Jeez.
Nathan Turkish Delight is still top. He had a pretty weak week. 35 points. Not very great.
Ooh. Yeah. That's
So it's tough at the top. Top scorer, I think, was Gary DeFelice with 68 points. He had
What?
a certain
How is he?
Marcus Rashford in his team, I believe,
Wow.
who had a bit of a belter last week.
Good
I,
showing by
Didn't you have Marcus Rashford in your team?
I definitely had him at one point, and then I decided that they were shit.
Didn't you do like, bear with me because I don't know anything about this, but didn't you do some sort of like stupid transfer where like you got rid of
I
him?
wasn't stupid because I'm ahead of Fraser now. He's the last year's winner,
Look how
and I'm
quick
ahead of him now.
Fraser, look how quick he went in with. It wasn't stupid. It was tactical.
I
It
like
was
how I'm the
tactical.
benchmark. I'm the benchmark for his success. Do you notice that? It's like as long as he beats me, that's his,
As long as he
all
beats
he's
you.
got is me.
No. As long as I beat Pilch is the main thing.
Oh, is it?
The real
Okay.
question is, where's Dave?
Oh, I'm right at the bottom,
He's not right at the bottom.
pretty much.
So I had an all right week because I kept the
Hmm.
faith with a certain Ivan Toney who banged in a hat trick last week. I think was that last week. Feels like forever ago.
I like the team names, which is something that you haven't really talked about. Which is Tim Kelly's is Kelly's Heroes,
Yeah.
obviously after the Clint Eastwood movie.
That's the one where they went over the
I'm
Nazi
not sure
gold,
what Fraser's
wasn't it?
one's about. To
That's
be fair.
it.
Ice Weasel. What's that about?
Ice
Ice
Weasel
Weasels.
Frenzy.
That's from The Simpsons. No, I don't even know if it's from The Simpsons. It's got something to do with Matt Groening, but I can't remember where from.
I like Marty Fishlips, Into Your Mother. Obviously, it's a play on Inter Milan, obviously. You know, we have like football-related names.
David, is that you, Dave? Is that yours? Remind me
is mine.
to.
Yeah, nobody's
Update.
nobody's been
Yeah,
reminding
obviously,
me though.
we're not doing that because we like him being last.
I like that. It's a fabulous match by Remind Me to Update.
I do actually need to set a reminder on my phone.
Well, don't need to worry about it this week.
Well, I
I've just done
think
my
I think you can do a transfer now, and it's all going to go through as 0 points.
No.
And if
don't
you
think
use
so.
a wild card, the wild card is going to be refunded to you.
No. The wild card will be extended into the following game week if you play a wild card. So obviously it would have been a week games for this weekend. It's now just going to continue into next weekend. The wild card, if you have already played it.
I
So
made
you'll-
2 transfers this week
Yeah.
in
That's your
anticipation
two
that
transfers.
that's my 2 transfers, and then we'll push to the next game week, and I'll get another transfer back. That's my theory. If
I
it
don't know
goes,
about
but
that.
I did it anyway. But I had 2 free transfers to get the old. Guess who
Have
I
you
bought?
binned off Salah? Have you?
I binned off De Bruyne.
Ooh, and you've got a certain
And to put
blonde-haired giant in your team, have you?
yeah, I put Haaland in. Yeah,
Yeah, had to,
So-
didn't you?
I had to. Watch De Bruyne put 3 in the back of the net this
Yeah,
week.
exactly. We won't do it
Or
this
next week.
weekend.
Next
but,
week, yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
overall, I would just like to give a shout out to the official FPL podcasts I've been listening to. They do 2 podcasts, one before the game week and one after. And they're a good listen if you're into the fantasy football. Don't listen to too much about what they tell you to do, because that's basically what everyone does, and that's where the prices are changing on all those players, because everyone they mention about transferring in gets massively transferred in.
Right.
But it is a good laugh and a good listen. It's quite funny if you're into the fantasy football.
Okay.
But yes, so I think it was largely a low-scoring week. The average score, I believe, was 45 points on the week, which is pretty
That's
low.
pretty low. Yeah.
So, because a lot of the Liverpool players did a bit shit. So, and Mo Salah has gone down 0.1 million. I'm not sure this has ever happened in the Fantasy Premier League before, but he's actually gone down in value. As people are transferring him out en masse because Liverpool are not great at the moment.
Okay. All right. Well, look, if that's enough footy, then let's push on. We did. There was a little bit of streaming activity this week, wasn't there? What did I stream? I streamed something.
You
I
streamed
streamed
some
some
Valorant.
I streamed some Valorant. I was playing with my daughter. Yeah, that was nice. That was fun.
I was at work, so I didn't watch it.
Dave, no, that was the week before you streamed. Anybody else do anything?
I don't think so.
No, we'll slowly work our way into doing some more streaming. I can feel it coming. I can feel it.
I feel
in
like
the
we should
bones.
stream some of the game we've been playing a lot of that we'll talk about.
Yeah, I think we will. Yeah, maybe do that on Sunday or something. Okay, what have we got for emails then and communications? We have something here. It's in the notes. I'm reading the notes. I haven't printed them off. I'm actually using modern technology. I'm using the screen to show me the show notes. It's very exciting, and I can scroll the notes up and down, and they move on the screen. It's amazing.
Shit. Can you put your finger on them and move them up and down?
I could if it was on the other screen. MS Rangers, friend of the show, Mark says, "Evening, boys. As I'm away on my holidays," he's dropped that in, hasn't he? That's the old. I'm flexing. Yeah, where he's gone to Turkey or something like that. I think he's. I can't remember. Somewhere like that. Sharm el Sheikh. Anyone been there?
That's
Anyone
Egypt,
know where
isn't
that is? Is it
Oh, yeah.
Egypt? Yeah,
I thought that
Turkey's not
was-
the place to go to, is it?
I
Right
thought that
now,
was a
I think?
drink.
Don't worry, folks.
Ooh.
You won't be invited back.
Hang on a minute. Why is there bits missing out of this tweet? Okay, there's a bit extra. Sorry, hang on. There's a little bit. I'm getting confused. Right, okay, I'll add the
Are we
extra
missing?
bit in now. So you carry on, read the first bit. I'll add the next bit now.
Okay, Mark says, "Evening, boys. As I'm away on my holidays, what is your favorite holiday destination that you have been to, UK or overseas?" Oh, he does say it. He's in Sharm el Sheikh. Yep. Okay, let's. What do we got? Favorite holiday destinations, Dave?
I liked probably the best one was Mexico for me.
Ooh, that's pretty
Okay.
fancy, isn't it?
Yeah. The main tourist destination strip. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, no, loved it.
Okay.
It's proper nice. That was 10, 12 years ago now.
Where?
Mexico.
Mexico. What's the main strip? What's the
I feel like it's on
holiday
the tip of my tongue.
Were you in Mexico
It's not.
City then? Or
No, I was in the
It's on the
touristy
beach.
destination. Yeah, I was on the beach.
Cancun?
That's the
Cancun,
one.
that's it. Yeah, next
Right.
to Cancun. But yeah, that was the best holiday I've been. Obviously, I've been traveling and stuff as well, but I class that different. So, but yeah.
Mike, where do you like these days, Mike?
I really liked Carmel, which is in California.
I've been to Carmel.
I
I
liked it.
had a fucking fantastic lunch in Carmel.
Oh yeah, I think there's not a lot there, so you can't be there for very long. But there is a beautiful beach, fantastic restaurants, and Clint Eastwood. He
And
gets a
Eastwood
second
was the
mention.
mayor, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah, Carmel was one of those. I knew we drove there. We drove through there, probably like you did. You were probably were you on your way somewhere up or down from San Francisco or something, right?
Down from San Francisco, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what we did. We went to San Francisco through there, and Carmel. It was like, this is a nice place. I don't even need to look, and I can tell. Like, I like to look in estate agents' shop windows when I'm going into new places. I
Everyone
don't
does
even
that.
need. I don't
Yeah.
even need to look at the look. I cannot afford to live here.
No, no,
No
absolutely
chance.
not.
No.
You know when it's a nice area when there's just a shop that just sells cowboy belts,
What, and it can survive.
And it can
and it's just
survive.
like,
Yeah.
and you go in and it's dead, right?
You know they
And
only need to sell like 3
yeah,
belt buckles,
I walk in
right?
and they look at me and go, "You ain't buying a belt.
You think you're buying a belt.
You think you're buying a belt? That's cute. You want to take one off the rack, but you can look at it, but get out." Yeah, but it's a beautiful place. We had a lovely lunch, dinner there, and we just chilled on the beach all day. It was just a beautiful place. But it's not like I did as a sort of more partying sort of thing in California. Like Santa Barbara was really good because that had a bit of everything. That had a little bit of nightlife, some walks that you could go on, a beach, pier. Yeah, so that had a bit more going on, but I really loved Carmel.
See,
So that was the one for me.
sorry, we're getting distracted here, but funnily enough, Santa Barbara, we were only supposed to stay there for a night, but we ended up staying 3 nights there. That was nice, Santa
I
Barbara.
can see why. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a cool place.
Were you young then? Were you?
I was not young then. I was in my 30s. That was on my honeymoon.
That's pretty young compared to nowadays, isn't it?
Thanks, mate. No punches play. Yeah, I know. Gut punch. Hey. Neil?
I've not been to too many places, but I think I have to say Portugal, the Algarve, is probably my favourite that I've been to.
Nice.
It's like not crazy hot when I've been there because I don't really like it too hot. And there's lush beaches and the food was fucking great. We went to a restaurant every night, the same restaurant, and had different stuff every night. And the food was awesome. There was only about 5 people in the restaurant. That was good, but that was a long fucking time ago. So,
Nice.
yeah, that's pretty good for me.
Yeah, I've I'm absolutely I've answered this question I think on here before. I'm absolutely love holidaying up in the lakes in Canada. I love it to death. I think it's just the best place on earth. But if I have to choose somewhere abroad, I used to always have a really soft spot for France. There's just something I loved about going into France, and probably the fact that you go to the supermarket and the food was good. You could just go buy some great cheeses and breads and whatever, and I just in love with that sort of culture.
You, isn't it? It's always about
Yeah,
the cheese.
it's just I think it's all about that sort of rustic. Get me to a French village. Just give me a barn to go live in. And I have been to Paris.
It's
can't
not
talk.
like a French village.
No, I wouldn't. I have no interest in going back to the big cities. But to be honest, we were in Italy a few years ago, and Italy may have nudged out France.
I'd like to go to Italy, but it always looks mega expensive.
Everywhere's expensive, but again, it was like Italy really sold itself to me once I got out of the big cities, and then just into the nice places, suburbs or wherever, or to the small villages. You wake up in the morning, you go to get some decent something from the bakery and a good coffee, and I don't know, man. I'm a simple man. I just that sort of stuff.
You like tomatoes, do you? And olives.
I love tomatoes, and I can tell you what, the tomatoes that my wife made this year, tomatoes that my wife grew this year were absolutely astounding. So much flavor compared to the supermarket bollocks that's there. So, yeah. But I don't think they can grow anything in Italy anymore. They're basically they no water, now. Right? There's no water. They're done, right?
Well,
who's falling first in the apocalypse? I didn't have money on Italy.
Which apocalypse are we going for? The nuclear apocalypse? Because that could be everywhere.
I don't think we're going to get a nuclear apocalypse.
Oh, fuck it,
anyway. We're not going down the cheery road there, are we? Thank you for that. Oh, Mark's got more. Hang on a second. He says, I'm in Sharm el Sheikh. Oh, he says, think I met Pac-Man today. Oops.
There was a picture. There was a picture. It was like a bush,
okay,
a bit of topiary.
Oh, yeah.
Vaguely in the shape of a Pac-Man.
Oh, okay. That's video game related, so respect. He says, I'm in Sharm el Sheikh, by the way. Average temperature 35 Cs. Away with the wife. Our first holiday in 23 years without the kids.
Wow,
Nice.
that is good.
23 years without kids? That's shocking. Surely you must have been able to unload them before that.
That's going to be, talking about unloading, that's going to be a wild 2 minutes.
Oh, I guess if you have a spread of kids over different ages, though, right?
2 minutes, that's a long time
You could
considering
do
it's
it
been
twice.
23 years.
He says, I just hope the house is still standing when we get back next week. P.S. This is our new paradise. September, no kids, just grown-ups. Yeah, that going outside of the school holidays that's a belter. That must be.
Yeah, about half price.
Thanks for that, Mark. Hope you
Have a lovely holiday.
well, he's probably back by now, but I hope you had a great time or are having a great
Well,
time.
is he on his way back? Was he already?
Well, I
He
think
only
he
sent
was.
that today, so.
Oh, is he still there then?
Oh, it seems
Look at him. Maybe he got on delay send or something to impress us.
Plus, he was like, he had some sort of vision of the future and replied to a tweet in the future.
Thank you, Mark. Lord says, just thought I'd say I'm playing Elden Ring with the co-op mode, and let me tell you, it's a lot less frustrating and a lot more enjoyable in co-op than single player.
Is it though? How do you know?
I can
How can you
actually
tell?
imagine that.
When you play an Elden Ring, Mike,
Yeah.
you've got a PS5 now, you can play it without it being all shit.
Is it better on the PS5, is it?
Yeah, I think that's the way to play if you can.
Is it crap on the Xbox? Is
I
it
don't
crap
think
on
it's
the
crap on
Xbox
the.
One?
I think Xbox is fine, but Xbox Series X will be fine. But PC's a bit iffy.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't play on the PC because that's garbage. But yeah, I want to play it. I suppose because I listen to these podcasts and they're like, "Oh my god, God of War's coming out, but it's never gonna be Elden Ring." And I'm like, I get it. Elden Ring is good, but I've never played a Souls game.
You don't need to worry about that.
I know. But I think this is what it is. I know, like I know the battle that I'm going to go into. I think, like, I'm going to get obsessed, and I'm wary about it
You're
because
going
I
to
have
spend
quite
200 hours in it. That's what you're worried about.
yeah, I have it's a daunting task to do something like that, and I when I go when I do something, I sort of go all in. So I have to dedicate myself to it, but I know I would get on with it. I think, but yeah, maybe it's just everybody's banging on about it.
On Stu's Steam library, couldn't you?
I could.
He's got it. He's not going to fucking play it. Let's be honest.
He just slagged off the PC. Weren't you listening?
Yeah, I don't play on the PC. I don't know why. It's literally
I
the
was
same.
slagging off Stu,
desk
to be honest.
chair.
But there we go.
Yeah. Get in line, Neil. Yeah, I like people just say it's so good. I'm like, is it really that good? Like,
Yes.
shut up. Like, is it really, really?
The problem is, I think, and I'm sort of probably the same as Mike here. It's that, like, I hear what everybody's saying that it's probably fantastic, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's fantastic for me. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm concerned
Well,
that
you're
as
not
soon
very
as
good at games, so I don't reckon you should play it.
I'm concerned that it's just the way I just ignore him these days, right? I'm concerned. I'm concerned that as soon as the first enemy drops a sword and I have to look and go, ooh, what are the stats on this sword compared to the stats on this sword that's red? And I've got this one now that's got fire. Or this one does poison damage.
You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. No, that's what I knew Neil was going to say. You don't need to. It's not like that. Just play it. Just play it.
No, you just start with a samurai and you stab everything up with your samurai sword. It's good.
Why are you getting it wrong?
Is there a button I can press which just says upgrade all or whatever? You know that as soon as the first, I don't know what the first game that came along and just went, we'll just work it out for you. Just press X.
Fallout 4, right? That's all about RPG and up leveling your stats and all that. Like, I can't play those games because I don't know where to go with my levels. It's pretty straightforward in Elden Ring. You just go, Need more health. Need more dexterity or whatever. Need more magic.
I look forward to trying Elden Ring.
You know what feature I really like in loot type games is when you can mark things as junk or mark to sell. I think that's underrated. I love that.
Or the game automatically puts stuff into the junk. It automatically knows what's the best things and it just picks out the best items.
It just goes like these three are the best ones. Like top to bottom, these ones are the best ones. Don't even look at the ones, but yeah, great. Thank you. Sorted out for me.
I might have to
Quality
play
of
some
life.
Elden Ring
Quality
again
of life.
recently, because I can't. It's
Oh,
been a while
geez.
since I played it. So,
Why would you need to go back?
well, there's things to do. There's a load of stuff I didn't do in the first time round.
Well, you
Oh,
didn't stream. You didn't stream the your last couple of hours of it, did you?
No, because it would have been massive spoilers. But yeah,
Yeah.
given that
um,
enough time now.
do you
Go on.
before we get too sidetracked on there, what you Lord did ask or make a statement, and are you on board with his statement there, Neil, that it's more enjoyable in co-op than
I've never
single player?
played in co-op. I've
Well,
called in a
you
few
need friends for
summons.
that, don't you?
We literally just did that on purpose.
I'm not
didn't
as good at it as you, as getting that knife in.
we? I definitely summoned some human assistance occasionally, but I never, because the mod, that's a mod. Like that's not in the game, the co-op thing.
Hmm.
Like there is a mod that you can play through the whole game co-op. Obviously, you have to have a
Oh.
PC version for that. You can't do that on PlayStation or Xbox.
I see.
Or you could have a Steam Deck, I guess, but let's not go there. Eh?
There we go. There's the first mention of Steam Deck.
And the last, hopefully.
Not really, because we're going to ask Mike, what's his opinion on the Steam Deck? You ordered one yet, Mike? You giving in?
No, I won't. I won't, because I don't really like the handheld gaming.
How much do you think Steam Deck is fear of missing out, or is it the best thing since sliced bread?
I think, yeah, it's a little bit of that, but also it's a bunch of, and I'm not saying all men buy Steam Deck, but I think it's a bunch of men going, now I can play Steam Deck while the wife watches Married at First Sight.
Well, I do
You
that
know what I
anyway.
mean? It's
Love
It's called
Island is the
having a
one I
fucking
hear quite a
PC.
lot.
yeah, but like they can do it in the same room, or like I can, like the chap who I work with is like, oh yeah, I can just take it around my girlfriend's house and just play it around there, and it's great because I've got my whole PC at my girlfriend's house. So I was like, so you just don't want to be with your girlfriend. By the sounds of it, you just don't want to be with her. Or I could take it on holiday. I was like, but you're on holiday. Don't you want to go on holiday? You know? And I get it. I took my Switch to when I went to Gran Canaria and played it a little bit, but I spent most of my time being on holiday. But I don't enjoy handheld gaming because my hands get like pins and needles, and I just think because I'm 6'3", I just feel like my hands are too big or something. I don't know. I never get on with it. I'm never comfortable. I can never find like a snug spot to play it for very long. My hands fall asleep. I don't like it. I just never enjoy it. I prefer to
Yeah,
play the Switch like docked. So
well, you're going, and after that, I mean, you're getting up there in age yourself, so the eyesight's going to go, right? And then that's even worse for handhelds.
who said
I've,
that?
I've never found a comfortable position, especially with my Switch, playing it handheld. Like
No.
you can't. It's weird sitting up with it because
Yeah.
it gets quite heavy, and then you sort
Yeah.
of slouch forward, and you're like, oh no, that's gonna start hurting. You can't lie down. It's like it's yeah.
So I've got my Switch, and you're on your back holding your Switch up. That doesn't work. You get there, and then you can't relax, and then you play to the side, and you can't play. It's just a bloody nightmare.
Yeah.
Did you have a Vita? Do you have a PlayStation Vita?
Nah, I wasn't. I wasn't really big into the PlayStation family, really. But I have got a PS5 now.
Sorry, Ed.
But yeah, I know I've had the first PlayStation I had was 3, and
Really? What the hell? How can you not have had a
l-
PS2 or a PS1?
I know, yeah. Well, I did have a PS1 in my house. My brother had one, so I did have one, like around, and a PS2 like around. But I never bought one myself, and I bought a PS3 and 4 and 5.
You
And
bought the shit one.
yeah, yeah,
That
I
turned
bought.
out to be really good by the end of it, obviously.
Yeah, it had its moments. I mean, I definitely Xbox is my dominant console, but since I've had the PS5, I've been playing it non-stop. To be fair, so yeah, I just never bought into like any handheld gaming. I tried. I tell you what, the best one was the DS, the
Yeah.
DS Lite. That was the best one because it was like a book and you had a pen, so you sort of had to be in a certain place. You don't have both hands on it, so like not all the time anyway. So the stylus was like made it a bit different, I think, and I think the DS was my favorite handheld console ever.
I think the
And
difference that I found, and I agree with you there a little bit, Mike, in that the DS. I remember the DS fondly in terms of a handheld, but I think the difference is like you're dealing with software that's really made for a handheld with the DS. So everything was
yeah,
tailored to be on those small screens. Whereas I think with the Switch and the Steam Deck and all that sort of stuff, these are big games that are now being shrunk down onto not specifically made as a handheld game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's something in that which maybe that's why they don't feel that great to play in handheld mode for me. I don't.
There's a little bit of that. I debate back in my like back and forth where like people bang on about you've got to have a great TV and you've got to watch things on a big TV with great surround sound, and then just everybody just watches things on their phone now
Mm.
and on their tablet. And like, do you actually remember like how you watch stuff sometimes? Like, does it make that big of a difference? Like, if you watch something on your phone, like you still watched it, you still remember it. Like, people watch movies on planes. Like, I don't know. Like, does it really make a difference? But then, it's the comfortable thing for me. I'm not comfortable when I'm playing a handheld device. And I think with the DS, because you were playing like Brain Training or like the Phantom Hourglass or a Mario game that was like made to have two screens and it used them perfectly, it just added like so much to it. And yeah, Elite Beat Agents was like, you've like, oh, it was amazing. I just loved it, and it made me
That's
want
a
to sort of
game
sit
I've
up and play
never
it.
heard of.
Elite Beat Agents is like it's kind of like Guitar Hero mixed in with like James Bond. It's very
Right.
strange. Yeah, it's
That's
about as anime as
definitely a
I'll ever
DS
go.
game. Like there is no
Yeah,
way it's been on anything else.
it's basically like you have to like you tap the screen to the music. That's all you do, and you like have to drag. And it sounds like really naff, but it's actually like really fun. But also the cutscenes that are going on behind are like secret agents trying to catch the bad guy. And if you press it, it makes them do the right thing. And then the soundtrack is also really good because some of it was like David Bowie and also I can't remember the David Bowie one was the one that stands out. But there's like some really good songs on it. It's a great
Any
game. But like
Bros?
I've got there's a picture of me as a child with a Bros t-shirt that I did not consent to
You didn't have
because
the
it was a
Grolsch bottle tops on your trainers, did you, as well?
because it was a hand me down t-shirt, and I was like,
Oh, mate.
I didn't consent to wearing a Bros t-shirt.
Oh,
So
geez. We need to see that.
yeah, I might be able to get it. Hang on, I might be able to find it. So you talk amongst yourself.
All right. Well, let's move on to what we've been doing. Thanks, Lord, for the message. By the way, looking pretty sparse in this section. Is that on purpose,
I've been
boys?
plunging toilets most of the week, so that's not very exciting to talk about on a podcast.
All right. Well, I can tell you about what I've been watching. I watched a movie called The Doomsday Gun. I ended up going down this rabbit hole of this Canadian guy called Jerry Bull, I think his name was. He was a Canadian scientist. He ended up becoming an expert in cannons, and he had I think it was NASA research to develop a cannon to fire satellites into space, right? And then he went into defense contracting, modifying Scud missiles, and ended up in jail for a year, illegally selling arms or whatever. But he ended up becoming more famous because he went and started a consulting company and ended up designing and building the super gun for Iraq back in the 90s.
Right. Nice
Do you
chap.
remember? Do you remember dirty British manufacturers building parts for the super gun and
No.
exporting them and exporting them as
Exhaust pipes.
pipeline equipment, right, for the petrol industry? But in fact, Saddam Hussein was building the super gun over there. Yeah, and all these British
The
manufacturers
mythical supergun.
didn't realize what they were building. And as someone who is sort of works in engineering, I can tell you that is fucking horse shit.
Is this Project Babylon? Is this
Yeah, Project Babylon and Baby Babylon. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, but it was just interesting. I ended up down the rabbit hole of reading about
So
this
how
guy
did
on
that work out for
Wikipedia.
Saddam Hussein then in the end?
Not very well. And I just ended up. There was a film made of the guy. It was made in
Saddam Hussein?
1994. No, of the Gerald Bull, and about the super gun that he was constructing because he was assassinated. Right, he ended up being assassinated.
Who did
by
that,
the
though?
by the well, they
By the
think
Iraqis?
not the Iraq. Why would they assassinate him? That doesn't make any sense. He was fucking literally
know.
building something for them. It could have been the Israelis, maybe the Iranians. Not sure. But yeah, they made a movie, and Kevin Spacey was in it. I know he's been cancelled, but maybe that's why it
Maybe
wasn't
it was
on
him that got
Netflix.
the assassination done.
And
Seems
then,
like a bad
are you on the
dude.
beers today? Are you on the
Have I?
beers tonight?
Maybe.
Because the stand-up comedy is in full swing. Yeah, Frank Langella was in it. I don't think he's passed away now.
Stood up, by the way.
And who else? Oh, Clive Owen was in it, right? Anyway, it was
Oh, it's a
getting
classy movie.
It's funny because I feel like I'm unknowingly getting into old movies, even though these movies are from 1994. It turns out that those are old movies now. So it's just interesting watching that sort of stuff. So I watched that. That was good. I can recommend that. It's on YouTube, by the way, if anybody wants to
It
watch
must be
it.
brilliant then.
Oh, it was I enjoyed it. It was a good movie, but it's on YouTube.
Did you get adverts?
Yeah, there were adverts, but I put up with those.
What if you've got YouTube Premium?
Oh, you're quids in then, mate, aren't you? Quids in.
Winner.
I was just going to say, I've got a picture of me wearing a Bros t-shirt. If you're ready for it.
I don't know how do we see this?
I can't get this on stream.
So it's in the chat. It's in the show chat.
Okay, well, Neil will have to.
Oh, I'm not working that out now. Sorry, viewers, you're not going to be able to see that.
Well, I just thought it'd like for you guys to see, but you know.
In the show chat, where's that? I don't even know where the show chat is.
Show comments and questions.
Top right of like where all the videos are, where we are.
Oh my god,
top
I don't
right.
know what the fuck's going on.
Oh,
anyway,
I have no idea.
Should we move on?
Wow. We'll try and figure that out as we go.
Where's the show chat?
Thanks for going to all that trouble.
Brilliant.
Are you sure it's in the right Discord? I can't even find
it. Maybe I've posted it in some nonce Discord, but I don't know. Like
nonce Discord.
Yeah. Can I share my screen? Would that be...
Suddenly getting loads of likes on it, are you
now? Share screen. Yeah.
I started Lord of the Rings on Amazon.
Oh,
anyone else watch
the TV
that?
show?
The new one?
Not Lord of the
Rings.
TV you show. Mean like the new show?
I don't know, whatever it's called. Something
Rings of Power.
Rings of Power. What's the first episode, Fraser?
Did you get on with it?
Look, there's not a lot to say about it, really, was there? Like, it's just.
It was a little bit empty. The first one.
It's just a bunch of people doing stuff.
Second one's better. Second one,
yeah,
you're a little bit. So. Yeah, you're a little bit more involved with the characters after the second one.
It's like like someone's in love with someone else. I'm like, yeah, good for them. Like the elves. What I don't like about the elves is they're a lot uglier than they were in the film.
This is true.
Like the blokes they just look like.
That being said,
just the actors like.
Yeah, I know.
That being said, I'm all on board with Galadriel. I think she's brilliant. I think
which one's that? Is that
she's the one who's on the mission that just won't quit. Right?
She the one who's on like she does this like she ran up a sword or something and like did a big jump. Like she was obviously on a trapeze or something.
Probably, I wouldn't put it past her. She looks like she could do that. Yeah.
Yeah. She's the one on the boat on the end. And then
yeah,
okay.
that's right.
Yeah, I'm with you. Right, that
I do have an admission like that. I've never watched any Lord of the Rings.
You're probably better for it, to be fair.
I don't think so. I'm surprised at that, Dave. I'm surprised. I would have had you down for knowing Lord of the Rings pretty heavily.
I would expect that of me, Dave. That would be. I would expect that of me, but not you.
It all passed me by, and then the films came out, and then I saw the runtime, and the fact that there was going to be 3 of them. I was like, that's 10 hours of my life.
10? And the rest?
Yeah.
Well, Tara's a huge fan of Lord of the Rings,
right?
Which she's not really like
the films.
Fantasy.
Yeah, the films. Yeah, like she's not really into like fantasy that much, but she just loves Lord of the Rings. Okay. So it became this thing of like we have to watch Lord, like not every Christmas, but we watch them quite. I've watched them about 3 times now, and I have.
You could have finished Elden Ring in that time.
And that's true. I do really like them, and I think they hold up incredibly well. For when they made like 2001, and the special effects are brilliant. It's like when you watch Jurassic Park now from 1994 and compare it to Jurassic World. It's like it just holds up so well. It's such a good looking film.
That's because the story's good in the first one.
And they actually spent time thinking about the special effects. Why is it raining when you first see the T-Rex? Because they can only do shiny surfaces. Very clever, isn't it? So yeah, so we were in for Rings of Power, and we're not watching the Game of Thrones on because I can't handle 2 of the same type of show.
I've heard the Game of Thrones ones is unnecessarily gory, is what I've heard.
Yeah.
Well, it's always been unnecessarily
Is it? Well,
graphic.
yeah.
Yeah, I will watch it eventually, and I've heard it's good as well. But we've gone for Rings of
That was from
Power. I'm
Stu,
glad
though,
that
was it? That was from Stu.
No, from a reliable source. Stop listening to that guy a long time ago. Yeah, but I've heard it's good. This is from a trusted source at work, and he was like, "Yeah, no, it's all right." But I don't know. It was okay. I'm happy that Lenny Henry's in it.
Lenny
That's
Henry
what
is
I'm.
a good
What?
spot in that. Lenny
Lenny
Henry's a,
Henry's in it.
Which is
yeah,
he's in
it's
the Lord
worth
of the
it.
Rings one, yeah? Is that right?
He's in the
Yeah,
Lord of the
that's
Rings,
right. Yeah,
and he's good in it. And Lenny Henry's from like 2 miles that way from my house.
Oh,
He's
he's
from
local
around here.
boy.
My friend Ben, he's married to Lenny Henry's niece, and yeah, he's just like everybody knows somebody that knows Lenny Henry. He's a legend around here. So yeah,
Nice.
I'm happy that Lenny Henry's in it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Highly recommended. Well, I say it's highly, if you're up for it, I think it's okay. I'm enjoying it. I think that
I need to
elf
get on it.
who's I don't know the elf's name. The guy who's going to the village or whatever is looking
Elrond.
after that
Is he
village.
still? Is he a young pup
No.
in this? Is he like 2 or something? Elrond.
Elrond's played by somebody else, I think.
Is he in it?
Obviously, but I think he's in it. Yeah,
Who's
God.
Elrond?
He was like
he was one of the elves,
he was
wasn't
one of
he?
the elves in Lord of the Rings, but obviously they live for like hundreds of years, don't they? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really because I've watched Lord of the Rings so many times. I still don't know like much of the.
No.
Because she said that blonde woman that you like, crazy. She's like, yeah, and then
I'm
the
just sitting here questioning whether I've got her name right or not. By the way,
yeah,
I
but I
think
don't
it's
know. But like,
Galadriel.
she's like,
It
oh yeah,
sounds right.
my brother was in the war for centuries. I was like, centuries? I was like, oh yeah, they live for ages, don't they?
Yeah,
Elves?
yeah.
Yeah. So is that Hugo Weaving then? Is
yeah,
that like
I
a
think
young
Yeah, I
that's
version
think
of
right.
he was
Hugo
Elrond.
Weaving?
Yeah, so somebody else is Elrond in this one, obviously.
Yeah, that would make sense. Oh, is it that
Yeah.
sort of younger elf, not the
But there's the other
king
guy,
one?
the elf of color, which I think is another thing that's getting people all riled up, right? But
Well,
whatever.
that's
He's an
been a
elf.
massive problem with.
Yeah, I know. The fact that he's an elf anyway. I mean, does it really, here we are with elves and dwarves and people are getting worried the fact that Lenny Henry's in there and he's,
No, but like, but the
POC.
massive criticism of Star Wars and Lord of the Rings was that there's not many black people in them, which is obviously like you can't do that anymore, which is correct. And they put them in, and everybody's like kicking. It's
And
Not
then it's all a
everybody.
hornet's
Not
nest
everybody,
again.
Mike.
I know you can't win.
Only the
But I love that.
twats
But I
are
love
upset
that.
about it.
I'm totally on board with that elf guy who's
yeah, he seems like a good
Oh, in the second one,
character.
he really, he's so stony faced. He looks hard as nails or whatever like that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you wouldn't. Yeah, I'm all on board with that character. So
I think they should have like doubled down and just made everybody black, and just really annoyed all the white people. Just made everyone, even Hugo Weaving's character when he was young, for some reason.
why
You know,
not?
just why not? Like, just screw you. You know. But anyway. But yeah, you can't please anyone, can you? But yeah, it was okay, Fraser. I thought the first it was very pretty.
You need the
Decent
Damon
special effects.
Wayans version of Lord of the Rings or something, don't you?
I've watched way worse things for sure. And speaking
Damon?
of
Is that his name, Damon?
I've been
Damon,
speaking of things that are way worse. But actually, I'm really enjoying. You can send in your mail. I'm enjoying She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. I don't know.
Did you enjoy the twerking
I haven't got to the.
moment
Oh, did I get to the twerk?
with
Oh, I must
Megan
have
the
seen the
Stallion?
twerking. I think it did. Yeah, I mean, like, basically, it's so. Yeah. So the premise of She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, is Bruce Banner's cousin, I think she is driving with the Hulk. They have a car crash. Oh no, it's driving with Bruce Banner. They have a car crash. They get cut. Their bloods get mixed together. She becomes She-Hulk.
Oh,
But
Right.
is
she's
that
a high.
canon?
But who knows what's canon in any of this? But she's
Well,
a
upset people
lawyer.
if it's not. Well, no, see,
But
obviously.
she doesn't want to stop practicing law. She doesn't want to be a She-Hulk. She wants to be a lawyer. But then she ends up
likes
getting.
the drinking, apparently. I've heard.
But then she, well,
Is it her
she
that
can
likes the
drink. She
drinking?
can. She
Well,
can't.
that's the same as Bruce Banner though. He doesn't want to be the Hulk. He wants to be a scientist.
Yeah, but Bruce Banner's trying to train her to be a superhero, and she's just like, no, I don't want to be a superhero. I want to be a lawyer. But she ends up only being able to get it. She gets fired from her job, and then gets hired. Fuck, just watch it. But anyway, she at
When
another
does
law
she
company.
twerk? When does she twerk with Megan the Stallion?
At the new place
Right.
where she works,
They're
she
less fussy
twerks.
there, obviously.
I don't. Anyway, all I can tell you is it's my guilty pleasure. I don't know why I like it. I think I like it because I'm so tired of the normal superhero bullshit.
What super
The
serious
fact,
superhero?
yeah, the fact, like and she constantly breaks the fourth wall. Like they have,
Oh, really?
yeah, they have Wong turns up in one of them. You know,
Who?
the guy Wong from Doctor Strange.
Oh,
I
he's so
haven't watched
racist.
Doctor Strange,
Look,
really.
he's been in almost every Marvel film for the last 10 years.
He has actually been in the most, actually, as a count of a character.
Wong.
Has
Yeah.
he?
Who's
Yeah,
Wong?
Yeah.
I mean,
He's in every one.
The
What, for
Doctor
like a half a
Strange's
second?
No, he's
yeah.
like a main character in like some of them.
What, in like
Yeah.
Captain America or something?
So I'm just so you just don't see Asian people. Is that what it is, Neil? Is
It
that what it
sounds
is?
racist, sorry. But
he's
I
from
don't
Liverpool.
I don't pay
Apparently.
attention to Marvel films. That's not my problem. Sorry.
Yeah, no, he's been in. Yeah, I think you're right, Dave. I think he's been in like the most Marvel films or something
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like, yeah.
But it's good. Like Wong's in it, and she in the fourth episode, I think he's in it again, and she turns around to the captain, to the camera, and says, "Well, I'm sure you're all glad that Wong's back in it, so you'll keep watching." And she
Oh,
continually turns to the camera and makes reference to like blow ups on Twitter, or like I don't know if they did it after the twerking. I can't remember, but like she would turn to the camera and say, "Well, no doubt this will cause a storm on Twitter." Right.
Oh, I
So
know
it's
the guy.
really
I know
interesting the
guy.
way
I've
that
checked
they
him out now. I know who you mean.
they've
So
written it like that. So
that's like a Deadpool sort of thing,
yeah.
isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I find it a bit different, and I'm enjoying that.
Because I just kind of imagined it as like Ally McBeal, but she's green.
I'd never watched Ally McBeal, so I don't know. But
Okay.
are you admitting to having watched Ally McBeal then?
I used to watch Ally McBeal when I was
Did you like her? Did you? Did she wear grey underwear at some point?
That's probably. She was easy on the eye.
I don't even know what. I can't remember what she looked like, Ally McBeal. Can't. I have to Google it. But I always get that and Sex in the City mixed up.
Oh,
easily done.
What about But Dave's sorry. Yeah, Dave, what have you been up to? You got some stuff in here.
So yeah, like as you're talking, just literally one thing I remembered. I did watch the Taylor Hawkins tribute concert. Don't think it was last weekend. No, it wasn't last weekend. Weekend before.
I'll be that guy. Who the fuck is Taylor Hawkins?
Isn't he Aerosmith?
Foo Fighters drummer. That's no longer with us.
Yeah, the drummer for Foo Fighters. Not only the drummer for Foo Fighters, he was a drummer for lots of different bands, and he was widely known and regarded across the majority of the music industry.
And the Foo Fighters are.
They're a band from America.
It's a barbershop quartet.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, but like the best way to describe it is having the biggest and best musicians from across 20 or 30 years all coming together and in celebration of this guy.
So Bros were there, obviously.
And Chakademus and Pliers.
Exactly.
Yeah, Chakademus was there.
Did it happen in Birmingham the other day?
So yeah, it was all on YouTube live. Although there is a sort of a more cut together because it's actually it was a live stream of the not festival, but the stadium where they were performing. They're doing one in London and one in LA, I think, in America somewhere. But yeah, it was really good. Very touching. And yeah, a great place to just watch lots of old and new acts coming together and singing and playing songs in celebration of Taylor Hawkins. So yeah, I loved it. Yeah, and look on YouTube. It was a 6 or 7 hour event. But there's a cut together.
This from the guy who can't watch Lord of the Rings.
Well, it was on. Luckily, it's music,
You
So
should watch
luckily,
Lord of the Rings, though. You really should.
yeah, maybe.
Taylor
That means you
Hawkins isn't
won't.
in it though.
You already gave it away with your. So you're never gonna.
No.
He's never gonna do it, is he? He'll play
Yeah.
Factorial to 7 a.m. when the chickens start
And
pecking around.
something else as well. He plays till silly hours of the morning.
Yeah, I noticed Neil noticed my gaming this week. But yeah, if you like music, if you like modern rock, classic rock, put that on.
Any
Unless
prog rock in there? I'm a bit of a prog rock fan
Um,
myself.
not really.
No.
Prog rock.
I'll go watch Lord of the Rings instead then.
Yeah. So no, but it was a really good watch.
Good. Mike, anything you've been up to? You want to throw into the ring? Car keys into the bowl? Anything?
Is this media? Is this like sort of
Yeah,
show?
that's what we've
Anything,
been
yeah.
watching,
You
pretty
know,
much.
bit of DIY. Any DIY?
Oh, how's the
Mm.
tools going?
So we're moving.
Oh,
Oh, have you sold your house?
Our house is subject to contract.
Right.
oh.
So it's
Ooh.
happening.
Can I tell you about my conundrum?
Sure.
I won't discuss numbers. However, there is a house that I've seen that Tara and I like, but it's a project.
Ooh.
And as we know, I am a shit man.
I would argue
Yeah.
against that. I would say the fact that you openly embraced tool purchasing and took an interest in it, that you are far from that. You are just unlocking your potential.
I tell you what it is. I don't mind the work. I don't have the knowledge. That's the problem, right?
That doesn't matter.
You can do
No.
it.
So
YouTube can do it.
we've been looking at a few houses. Nothing's really tickled my fancy. I looked at one today. Meh, whatever. The woman was weird. I think she thought I was going to beat her up because she was expecting my wife to be there, and I turned up. So she's like, "Is this a scam? Am I going to get robbed?" She's like, "Don't close the front door." I was like, "I'm not going to beat you up." But then I thought about it. Just because she didn't want me to. Anyway, so we found this house. It's a great house, but it needs work. Like it's not been touched. There's carpet in the bathroom. You know,
Ooh.
all this, which I like because that means like, oh yeah, it's old. You know, value for money. Do you know what I mean? But it's a big house. It's nice, but every room needs work. The boiler's leaking. You know, it's a project. It's going to cost me quite a bit of money just to move in. If you understand, it's going to a new
Yeah.
boiler, new plumbing, new rewire. Maybe I don't think there was any damage to the roof, but my brother says you should get it checked out anyway. So like straight away, and then straight away you want a new bathroom because you can't be dealing with pissy.
Would you
Hmm.
would you not be getting a professional home inspection
Yes,
before
yeah. We
you
get a survey. Yeah,
they would
yeah.
do that?
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, they would do that. But so like you're talking about a new boiler, new plumbing, new rewire, new bathroom. You're talking about 15, 20 grand gone, right? Just gone, right? So the way I'm thinking about it is it's gonna cost me that just to move in, right? And it's just a little bit too much for me. If I didn't, if it had that 15, 20 grand taken off the price, then I would be like, okay, cool. But like where it is, it's just like right on the edge. If it was a house that I could just move into and just sort of make do and live in and be all right, and it didn't need all that work, then it's right. It's within my budget. But because I need to spend that extra money to get it going, it's not in my budget. If you know
Right.
what I mean. So,
Chinny, I'll tell you a secret. You can offer what you want. You don't have to pay. You
well,
don't
I know.
have to. You can
So
say like lowball it and go, I'll put in an offer for like and it expires in 2 days. This is what it is. Take it or leave it. And then if
yeah,
they don't come back in, if they don't come back in 2 or 3 days, don't have an open offer because like weeks later, you're like a week later, you're like, oh, like looking at other places and then cancel it. Like no, just say, look, this offers 2 or 3 days. This is what I'm prepared to pay. Take it or leave it.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and that's fine. That's actually an acceptable thing to do.
Mm,
And then that puts your mind at rest. If you get it for that price that you're thinking of, minus all the work and everything, and then think, okay, right, I'm gonna get in there, and all this work's gonna be because not only that is like, are you gonna have to get like you going to be living there, or is it like are you going to
I
be
think I'll have to move
put in
in with my mum
storage,
and
or
dad. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I think I'd have to do that. Yeah. So
yes,
for at least, I mean, you say at least a month, but you know what these things turn out like. They turn out to be longer than you
Yeah.
think. So
My neighbors bought their house in December last year. They didn't move in till June, I don't
yeah,
think. Took
yeah.
them 6 months to move in.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want to do the whole house. I'd want to move in. You know, I'd want to do like maybe a couple of rooms and then just get in there. Because Tara and I have said like, if we've got to just live in one room, just live in the bedroom, and have a decent bathroom and a livable kitchen, we
Well,
can
that
live with
gives
that.
you an impetus to get it done too, right? That's
Yeah,
like,
like,
plus you can do a bit of it whenever you want rather than just
but
having to make
we
a
could
special.
probably get by. Do you know what I mean? If we had like a decent bathroom, one livable bedroom, and a kitchen that works, you know, we could get by. You know, it's fine. But so, well, I remember when Tara and I looked at it, and she said, like, "Oh, this buying this house would take a lot of balls," and I was like, "Yeah, it would. It really would." And I'm just nervous about it. And I know what you said, Dave, and I
mm,
am thinking about making an offer like a lot less than they've asked for because it's an inheritance house, so they're not.
right,
It's been on since June, so like
Oh, they want to get rid of it, mate.
they
Lowball
want to
it.
get rid of it.
Lowball it and done.
So
yeah,
my brother said like you should offer for this, and I was thinking the same thing. So but where it's at now is my estate agency's gonna talk to them, and she says it's worth ringing them and just talking to them because you might find some information. Just offer sort of a conversation. I have to say the estate agents that we're using are very very good because most of them are shite. But she says like let me just see if I could just get some free information out of them just from just chatting to them, and you might find that you could offer this. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, that's a good
mm.
idea actually. So that's where it's at now, and I'll find that out on Monday. But yeah, so that's the drama at the moment. But um,
Oh,
So
well, good luck with that.
you've sold like you've put your sale in principle of your house before you've actually finalized a house that you want to move
that's what
into.
they recommended to do. That's what they recommended to
Really?
do. Yeah,
There's normally it's the other way around, but what do I
that's
know?
what they said. They said sell, get your house sold and start looking, and then it sold really quick. It sold in like 6 days. I was
Mm.
like, shit, we better start looking properly. So, and we found this house. We call
What
it
was
Ram.
what was the impetus on that? Was did you fancy of moving in where you are, or just want somewhere bigger, smaller?
Bigger, yeah, bigger. We don't have. We have like 2 rooms downstairs. So we have a living room and a kitchen, and they're
Mm.
decent sized. But the flow of like the way you go to the back garden is like through this side alley, and it's not very good. It's not very good for like hosting parties, and then like if you
Parties
want,
aren't your problem. It's kids. Those are the
yeah,
problem.
and then there's that as well. So
Fuck
like
parties. Those are gone. What you worry about
yeah,
that? It's where you putting the kids to
well,
sleep. That's what it all comes down to.
but like we do have a lot of like we do visit each other's families a lot. Like I stay, Tara and I stay over to Simeon's, which is Tara's brother, quite a lot. He lives in Stockport, and they travel down here. So we're always sort of sleeping at each other's houses, and it's always a good laugh. And we've got the kids, and so it'd be nice if we had a couple extra bedrooms just to sort of like, right, we can
Host them properly.
house them properly
Yeah.
and do that, and then yeah, and then have a garden and a kitchen where it has a better sort of like like flow of like, all right, okay, everybody can sort of hang out here, like a more of a sociable kitchen rather just like a functional kitchen. But I know these are first world problems. I get it, right? So I'm not going to mad about it too much. But you know, it's Maslow's law, isn't it? You get a house and then you want a better house and all that sort of shit. So, yeah, so it's just something a bit more like what fits what we do regular,
Yeah.
which is like get the family round, maybe like room for our own family and all that sort of shit. So
How long have you
yeah,
been in your house so far?
7 years.
Okay.
So let's just say that what we're selling our house for is
Considerably more, yeah.
way more than I thought we were going to sell it for. They
Yeah.
put it on this amount, and I was like, it's never going to sell that amount, right? And it somebody made an offer in straight away, and then someone made a higher offer, and then someone made an offer higher than that.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh, bloody hell! I was just take it now. I was like, deal or no deal. I was like, deal.
Take the money before they
You're
actually
just going to
realise
live in a
it's not
hotel
real.
for a couple of months and it'll be fine.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm pleased with that. And it's not a bad house, but it's a good first house. Do you know what I mean? It's like 3 bedrooms. It's a standard like semi-detached house. Nothing. No, it's not
3 bedrooms,
massive, but it's
first house. Fucking hell, a bit fancy up
yeah,
your way, aren't you?
yeah. But I don't live in stupid places, do I?
Well,
Like
you can
Central
afford a
London.
3-bedroom house, you mean?
central. Like I live in normal places where like this can happen. But I was watching a property program the other day, and there's like, we're so happy with this house, like £450,000 house, 2 bedrooms. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I saw
So,
something in I think it's in Montreal. They were selling a $1.5 million Canadian town flat. And like it had a kitchen, living room, 1 bedroom, and a tiny bathroom. It was like
Oh, right,
yeah.
yeah.
$1.5 million for that. Is that
Yeah,
it's
it's all gone a bit nuts over here right now. I would
Fucking
imagine that
hell.
would have to be somewhere in the center of Montreal, but
yeah.
It's all
yeah.
relative, isn't it? But like basically for where I live, it's like a pretty standard house. Like there's lots of these types of houses, like semi-detached 3-bedroom house. You know what I mean? So like it's a good first house. You could move in and just get on. Like there's no
Just
massive
have to
works
take
to
them
do.
things
So
off the wall behind you.
yeah, they did. Look, I tell you what, when we were showing the people the house, like the kids would come into this room if they got kids, and they would just be like, "Oh
You're a streamer?
my god!" and their eyes would light up. And they were like, "What? It's like, you got? What, have you got Xbox? Yeah, have you got PlayStation? Oh, do you play Fortnite?" I'm like,
No.
"Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, I play Fortnite." So that's what's been going on. In terms of like watching stuff, we watching Parks and Rec, and we watched a few movies. We watched that Netflix movie, and it was awful.
Grey Man.
No, it was like a comedy.
You
Look, we didn't
got to
want
narrow it down a bit more. Netflix movie, it was awful.
we didn't want anything heavy, so we was like Kevin Hart comedy, that'll do, and it was terrible. It was like Me Time with Mark
Yeah.
Wahlberg, and
Oh, geez.
Anything
oh
with
my
Mark
I
god,
think
Wahlberg in
I
is
think
guaranteed to be shit.
The Kevin Hart stock is about to tank. I think
it's
everyone's
going,
had enough of him.
but it's. I mean, it wasn't even like silly fun. Do you know what I mean? It was just really bad,
Yeah.
and just oh god, it was rough. So I haven't really watched tons. No, so yeah, it's just working constantly, really. So it's all good.
Okay, well, let's talk about some games that we've been playing then.
Oh, before you
Marty's
do,
in the chat and he said it was shit, capital
Yeah.
letters, whatever it was you're talking about.
Yeah,
before
Me
before we
Time
go
was
on,
awful.
before we go into games, we have a little WhatsApp group between us, and Neil posted an offer on for a wireless mouse.
No, it was
That
Fraser.
was it Fraser? Was it?
Here's the funny thing. I posted the offer. I saw the offer on YouTube, maybe it was on Twitter. And I posted it on our WhatsApp group because it basically is 140 quid gaming mouse. It was reduced down to something, whatever. Dave will reconfirm that. But it turns out actually that it was showing on the Twitter feed because Kev, friend of the show, originator of the show, Scottish Kev, he liked that tweet. So he'd actually seen it already. I noticed that. So actually it all goes back to Kev. There you go. Cool
his
story,
fault.
bro.
Yeah.
You took up the offer. Dave couldn't resist the offer.
Couldn't resist it.
Hey?
I was thinking about it. Like I've been thinking about getting a wireless mouse because my desk is too cluttered with when I'm working. I've got my keyboard and mouse for my main computer, my laptop, my keyboard and mouse for my laptop, my headset, and it's just a complete mess. And I'm like always bunching stuff into the corner of my main computer when I got my laptop here. So I was like, no, I want a decent wireless mouse. And I was looking, but I was like, I've never really liked wireless mice, because the ones that I'm used to have had the batteries, the AAAs, and they lasted about 2 days. So I've never been one, and I was looking at it, and I think I got a bit of FOMO with thinking, Oh, it's a really good one. And I was
I
looking
can't
into
afford not to buy this, he said, and he sat and justified it to himself until he bought it.
basically, yeah. I was like, well, I don't need to buy batteries because it's got the battery inside it and it's got a charging dock.
How
and
much do you
everything.
think a rechargeable AA battery is, Dave?
The thing is,
A
I've got
pound?
them. I've got like, look, I've got like all of these. They're all some AAs and AAAs, and I've got all the rechargeable things. So it's not like I'm hurting for buying a cheap wireless mouse. I don't know.
So which
I-
mouse was it then?
It was the what's it called?
A
The
Viper?
Razer Viper Ultimate.
Ultimate.
Viper Ultimate.
So what's the Viper?
Uh,
Is that, it's not an ambidextrous one, is it? Or is it?
It is, yeah.
Okay. Not that I care, because I'm right-handed, so all mice are good for me.
It depends what I'm doing. I can,
Yeah,
Ginny
all
has
right.
questions.
TMI.
I'm in the market for a wireless keyboard and mouse.
Well, I was in the market for a wireless keyboard and mouse, but I only got the mouse.
Do you
I
need a
didn't get
wireless, a dongled keyboard, or do you need a Bluetoothy job? Does it need to connect to anything other than your computer, basically?
Just my computer.
Why does it need to be wireless then?
I don't like the wires.
What do you
they're
like?
annoying.
Like there's a Logitech one. This is regularly on sale, which is wireless, and that's like normally fucking loads of money. It's always on half price. Not always, but it regularly goes to half price. That looks pretty nice. But
Yeah.
I have my Razer keyboard, and I like my Razer keyboard. And like my
Yeah.
I
Razer
might hold
mouse.
off because they've just announced the new iPhone, which I'm probably going to get. So
That's definitely expensive.
yeah.
There's no room for that stuff now, Mike. You are about to be funneling all your spare dollars.
You just add it
okay?
onto your mortgage.
Now is the time you have to go with wires. You're in the wires part of your life now.
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
See what happens is like you buy all your nice stuff, then you have children, and then you don't have nice stuff, and then like you finally start getting nice stuff after like you can start affording like
When they can fucking basically, like, if they can starve to death,
look
it's
after
fine. You
themselves.
don't care anymore.
Yeah.
So get all your nice stuff now, Ginny.
Yeah.
Okay, man. I will do.
Let's talk
Sorry.
about some video games then.
Fuck
Video
off.
games.
Oh, how much was the mouse discounted for, and to what? And can we ask that question?
It was supposed to be 150 quid. It was discounted down to 47.
Yeah, it's not too shabby, eh?
150 quid.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder why they couldn't sell them.
Well, it was. I think I released in.
How much electric does that
2019.
use?
Very hot, not a lot. Very highly reviewed. Because I did check all the reviews from the time. It was very highly reviewed at the time.
I got a Razer mouse as well. Look.
Yeah, that's the same as my old one. So yeah, it's
Ew, wire.
Sorry.
Ew.
You can get a wireless version.
Yeah, but you don't have that, do you?
I don't, because I don't need one.
I don't need half the shit I've got in here, to be honest.
What can we sell? What can we get Dave to buy next week?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on to let's talk about some video games then. Should we have our guest start?
Can do.
Do you have? Are you
Have
prepared?
you played some games? Do you play games?
Have you played any video games? Do you still
Do I
play
play
video games? Yeah, I have got a question for you, Mike. Here we go. Okay, this is right.
Let's break it down. Let's
just go off here down this path first. All right.
Okay.
I felt like there's a bit of a sea change in the vet. But anyone who doesn't know, by the way, Mike comes from a small podcast called The Veteran
Sorry,
Gamers.
hang on. As if anyone fucking who listens to this doesn't know who fucking Mike Chin is.
Well, they might not know. I mean,
I asked that when I walked the street.
Did you confront Chakademus and Pliers? So hey, Mike, it's Mike Chin, they said as they stopped singing.
Yeah.
Tease me. I felt like the veteran gamers, and this is me from a fanboy point of view. I've listened to you for many, many, many years, and of course we've met a few times, and we're all friends, right?
We're all
But I felt like the last 2 years, veteran gamers really shifted a little bit. Like you're more. I feel like somebody's trying to keep it on track with the video game sort of stuff, but I get the feeling there's and I'm pointing the finger at you a little bit more than anyone else. But I feel like you're almost of that like video games, whatever, right? You know,
I'm glad you brought this up and not me.
Do you know what I mean? I think Stu is still 100%. He's just like he can't get enough of video games. Like he's completely devoted to the
Good
cause.
job that Steam Deck came out, eh?
Almost like a religious zealot. I think Stu is right now. He's worshiping at the what do they call that where you worship the fucking
Altar?
something of whatever altar. That's it. He's worshiping the altar of Steam Deck right now. He was a word, you know. He's left his god, the VR, behind for now. He's forsaken.
This is the new distraction. Is Steam Deck,
But I feel like there's this siege, not a sea change, but just a slight change of course on the veteran. A little bit more, maybe a bit more relaxed, a little bit more wild, right? You know, a little bit more. Yeah, there's a little bit more as well.
I'm not being funny. Duke was banging on about some massive long story the other week. What was that all about? He went on for about half an hour about something that was completely non-video game related.
It was the cooking one, wasn't it? It was about how the kitchens work. That was your fault too, Mike. I'm blaming you for that one. We all had to listen to that. But also, there's almost like a little bit more of the nibbling at the heels as well. Like, you know, like, for fuck's sake, Stu, shut the fuck up and all this sort of stuff. I just get the feeling the show's just, it's been, I don't know. Am I wrong? Am I off the ball here? I feel like veteran gamers has become a little bit more almost relaxed in a way, you know. I don't, am I barking up the wrong tree here? I don't mean to offend or anything like that. I still love the show as much as I ever did.
You're not going to offend me. I feel like what you're talking about is probably my falling out of love with video games in the last 2 years. I definitely don't enjoy them as much anymore. But then I can play a game and completely like abandon that. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't want to put it on lockdown and be like, oh, because we're trapped indoors. I just appreciate it. It's not about that. See, look, you know, Dave misses the outdoors so much he's just fucked off. Now he's back.
No, I opened the window. It was getting warm in here. So.
Right, but it's like I don't know. I think what it is for me is the state of video games at the moment. Nothing
you said
seems
something.
to.
Was it the last time you was on?
Nothing seems to interest me. Like the way video games have evolved, and I don't put this down to. I'm not saying they're worse. I'm just saying the current trends that video games are doing at the moment don't interest me. And then when a game comes out that does interest me, I don't play it because I've done it before. So I'm in this sort of bind of like I haven't really got a genre of games that is new and exciting that has really sort of stuck out to me, and the ones that I do like. So like the you know, games like Horizon or like the God of War that's coming out this year. Like I loved the last God of War in 2018. I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. But I know what I'm gonna get. Do you know? Like I just know what I'm gonna get. Like the new Horizon game. I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn now, the Forbidden West one. Like I'll play it, but I just know what I'm gonna get. I know what it is.
Did you get a PS5 with Forbidden West, by the way? Because that seems to be the only way to buy a fucking PS5 these days.
Yeah. I've got it here. The code.
Oh, you got a code. I've got a disc for mine. Don't show it. That's all right. It's blurred.
No,
out.
I'm not going to show it. I'm not going to show it. But
it's all right. The resolution's so low you can't see. It's fine.
Doesn't even know what game that is. You could have just pulled out a receipt from fucking Best Buy, and I would have been like, "Oh yeah, okay."
So I think what you're talking about, Fraser, is my falling out of love with the way games are at the moment, and just you know, I've got no interest in sort of playing Elden Ring. Like I've got just the current games are just nothing seems to draw me in. And
what are you waiting for?
That.
What are you waiting for?
Nothing really. Like maybe the next Rockstar game. Like that's about it. So
you'll be waiting a while for that, I reckon.
You know, even the what's it, Starfield, like the next Bethesda big game. See, that's it. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Fraser. It's that attitude of like meh. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I
other people are looking around the corner going, "There's going to be something. I know there's going to be something," and I've just given up looking around the corner, and I've just gone, you know what? I'll just play fucking snooker instead.
I think that is it's something about getting older. Well, that was for me, where I in the last 3 or 4 years, there's been a definite trade-off of, is this worth my time? Have I got better things to do with this time
Hang on a minute,
than
what the fuck?
plug away?
Mr.
No,
Factorio till 4 in the morning.
Factorio's a great game, like, but it's a comfort zone, isn't it, Dave? Do you know what I mean?
well,
It's a comfort zone.
yeah, like instead of like just I create the story for those games, and the story is that I've got to create this thing using skill and knowledge and thought, and it's a completely immersive thing for me. Those types of games is that I have that I set myself the goals, and my goal is to complete a process to get an output. So and I have to do a certain amount of work to do that for it to be like an automated system. So it is a little bit like work, but it's only like work in the fact that I have to spend a lot of thought time, and it is hard, and I do spend a lot of time playing these games. But like what I get out of it is a sense of accomplishment that I've completed what I set out to do. Whereas a lot of games that I find that I'm not interested in anymore is when an objective is set for me and there's a story narrative or something like that in that right, you need to do this within a certain timescale, or you need to complete this in a certain way, or you need to progress to the end of the level, and it's a very linear progression of and sort of
And you can get
telling
that
you how to
fixed
play.
in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different games. I
Yeah,
think
Yeah.
that's
I think
yeah.
the simple way for me is like the games that are coming out at the moment are just not doing it for me at the moment, and that probably comes through on the show, Fraser. And about the abuse to Stu, I listened to an episode about 8 years old, and I'm still abusing him then.
I never used the word abuse.
So I mean, it is verbal abuse, right?
But
But
do you
I
think
politely
I'm just
said
as
nipping.
abusive now
I
as I
said
was.
I very very carefully said nipping at heels.
Yeah, I'm just as bad to him back then and now as I was back then. But I think you're right though, Fraser. There is a dip in sort of like because Duke just downloads whatever free
demos?
demo he can play, so he can because he's to be fair to him, he's trying to find something that people haven't
Yeah.
played and
Duke,
does a Stu.
Duke is a. I think Duke. I'm morphing into a Duke if I'm not a Duke. I think I'm a Duke by another that just looks a
Yeah,
little different in that
yeah,
I have my absolute comfort zones are playing Valorant or
Rocket
PUBG or
League or
whatever like
yeah,
that
yeah,
with friends, and that's how I love spending my times. But I also love unearthing those little nuggets of gold, like Vampire
yeah,
Survivors or
yeah.
whatever, or that Last Call BBS. Just fine, and Game Pass is wonderful for that.
No,
It
I
just
was
it
just going to
offers like
say,
Yeah.
are you buying games, Mike, still? Or are
No.
you just playing everything through Game Pass?
Like the game that I've played the most, which has also made me question my relationship with games, is bloody fucking Power Wash Simulator.
oh yes, we need to have a word about that.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's the game that I play, and I'm conflicted when I play it because I'm like, this is such a waste of time. Like, God, like what am I doing? And then I play it, and it's the equivalent of an adult coloring book.
Yeah.
Power Wash Simulator. It's basically the same reason why an adult will color an adult coloring book is the same reason why an adult should play Power Wash Simulator because it sort of just eases the mind and you can listen to a podcast or whatever. So I've sort of come to terms with it now. But like, what does that say about what I think of video games in 2022? If my most played game is a fucking Power Wash Simulator. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm obviously not as invested in them anymore, but
It's still a
I still
game.
like,
It's still
But
like,
it's
as
a
long as
game.
you're
to me, the
enjoying
video
it, what does it matter what it
Yeah,
is?
it doesn't
the
matter.
video
No.
games to me are the same as music in that we've been around. Like I was always fascinated as a child when you heard a song a new song would come out and you'd be like, that is fucking the most amazing song I've ever heard. How did that happen? I'll
Chicken
never
song,
hear
spitting
another
image.
song as good. I'll never hear another song as good as that. And then of course you wait and another song comes out and you're just like, that is just the most amazing thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
you know. And I think that we all live in that hope that we know it's coming for video game. It always
Yeah,
comes. It
yeah.
always comes.
Yeah,
So
look,
you
I'm
can't, so
not
you
playing it
can't,
for.
so you can't abandon
No,
the
no, no,
medium, which
no,
is why you haven't abandoned the medium.
no.
The consequence of that is you're playing Power Wash Simulator, right?
Playing Power Wash Simulator. But
21 hours, Chinny, you've played of that so
How
far.
many?
Oh, that's not a lot.
That's
Is it?
oh,
nothing.
right.
It's
Well,
peanuts.
that's interesting because I was looking at my stats on Horizon Zero Dawn, and I've played 20 hours of that.
You've had enough of
So
that, have you?
no, I've turned on that a little bit. But like again, when I'm playing that, I'm just like, it's fine. I get it. You know, I know what this is. I know where this is going to go.
That's a Sony game. That's the thing. They're very formulaic. It's
But they're
like,
very good. They're very good.
they're
I
all
think,
very of extremely high quality, but you know exactly what you're getting
yeah,
into before you get into
I
it.
think like 2018 was the last year where I've gone, oh my god, I'm just obsessed with games. And then since that, um, not really like no AAA game or anything like that's really sort of took me apart from like Snooker 19, which was like a different thing. But like, uh, like The Last of Us 2 and Red Dead and like God of War. Oh, Last of Us 2 came in 2020. But like, yeah, it's just I don't know. I just at the moment, nothing's really tickling my fancy. But you're right, Fraser. Look, at some point, something will come out, and I'll be all out. Elden Ring. So I think that's probably what you detected on the show there, Fraser. I think
No,
that's
yeah, it's interesting. But I mean, again, it's another thing that we notice as we get older. If you're here long enough, you see these sea changes in things, right? You
yeah.
see things change which you didn't.
Look,
You blame
our
Fortnite for
podcast,
everything because this is like
our,
everything wants to be Fortnite. Everything wants to
yeah,
be
everything, yeah,
season passes and
yeah. And
Yeah.
maybe like because I don't do any social gaming anymore, so I don't play any multiplayer stuff. I don't play any co-op stuff. Because I used to play co-op games with Marsh all the time, but I barely not speak to him in a bad way, but like, I'm seeing him tomorrow, but that's the first time I've seen him in like 6 months and stuff. So like, yeah, it's just maybe it's a bit of that. Maybe I need to sort of just completely change my routine and go like, right, let's go all in on PUBG again, or
we've
like,
got
you
a
know what I
game
mean?
for you. Have we
Oh,
got a
you
game
come
for
play with
you?
us.
See, that's the
We can
thing.
take you
Yeah.
on some adventures right now.
Yeah. So at the moment, it's just I've not like it's not the end for me with video games. It's just I've really like grown up. It has coincided with my passion to snooker again because I was a big snooker player back in the day. I used to play it when I was really really young, and I sort of fell out of love with it because I played with a bunch of people that I didn't like. So I stopped playing snooker, and then uh, just before lockdown, I wanted to play again, and then when we got out of lockdown, I started playing again. Then I started to join a team, and I was playing snooker again, and I love playing snooker. Like I'm obsessed with that again.
You should start a snooker podcast.
Nah, have you watched it? And look, I love snooker. Right, I love it. But if someone goes up to me and says, "God, it's boring," I'm like, I agree.
Yeah.
It's boring. Like I remember watching Ronnie O'Sullivan and John Higgins at the Crucible, right? And I was dropping off, right? But snooker can also give you some great moments as well, because it's so slow burning. Like the highs are really high, but the lows are
I
quite low.
watched
Well, the thing is,
a frame
Mike,
that went
you're
on for
actually
literally like 3/4 of an hour in one of the most. It was like It was
Yeah.
like constant safety play, and I was like absolutely
Yeah.
enthralled.
Yes,
But nothing was
it can
happening.
be. It can. It can be. It can be. It can.
I was going to
Snooker
say,
can
well,
do that.
luckily, you see, Mike, we're, certainly Neil and I anyway are old enough that we were around. We were teenagers in the boom of snooker in the
Boom of
80s,
snooker,
right?
yeah.
And I watched a lot of snooker back then. Who didn't,
Yeah,
I
and it's
was
still
all
it's
in on snooker, all in on Wimbledon, you know.
yeah,
Those
and
were the years.
it's still doing well snooker, but it's just not as popular as it was in the 80s and 90s. But there's more money in it now than
Yeah.
there's ever been and stuff. But it's still great. And Ronnie winning it, like the world champion this year, was like brilliant because the way he won it and stuff.
He's a bit of a strange one though, isn't he? He's like,
but he's
I'm good at snooker, but I don't really fucking like it. So,
no, he's but I
great
think
ambassador.
he lies. He purposely lies to himself to
He
play
knows
it
it's not
down.
that cool, but he wants to be really
No, I think he
cool.
plays it down because he doesn't want to. Because if he gets too emotional, he doesn't play as well. So he purposely plays it down. It's like a mind trick that he does. Because when he won, he
Chinny
basically
into
just
into the mind of the professional. I like
Well,
it.
he's coach, which is what's his name? I've got his thing here. Steve
Anyway,
Peters.
so what else?
Anyway,
So Dave, what have you been playing?
fucking whatever. We didn't even talk about what I was playing.
Well, I think when we're starting to go for Ronnie O'Sullivan's coach, it's time to move on.
Time to move on.
He's rude, isn't he?
It's fine.
I've just got to I've got to drive the show forward.
I have
been playing Horizon, so I'll let Dave go and I'll talk about Horizon.
No. I'm just kidding. What have you been playing then, Mike? Come
on. Horizon Zero Dawn. I last week on the show I was talking on Veteran Gamers. I was talking about how I wasn't sure about it. I was very sort of like, I'm not sure if I'm enjoying this, and it's very difficult and stuff. And I've turned on it now, and I actually, when you're playing a game and you actually start paying attention to it. Do you know what I mean? You actually start seeing things that you wasn't seeing before, and little things, and that sort of started to happen. Is like, oh, actually, every one of these robots has a weakness, so I should really focus on that. And every one of these robots has components, and each one of those components has a weakness, and it does require a little bit of investment. But if you do invest the time to just actually sort of read. So when you come across a robot and you go, right, let's find out what this robot's weakness is. What does it fucking hate? I was like, right, this one hates fire. And actually you can cause it to do an explosion if you overcharge it with electricity. So like it's got some clever things about it, which I wasn't appreciating. And now that I know, and now that I see that robot, I know that it doesn't like frost or whatever. It started to really come round on it and go, actually, this is pretty good. It's super polished. It looks pretty. It's great. Story's a bit meh, but it's just really interesting. It's a post apocalyptic world. So like, we're long and dead and gone, and they're sort of like up and coming. So yeah, it's interesting. I wouldn't say it's like.
So you say you're about 20 hours in? Do you say?
About 20 hours in, yeah, and it's a big old game, and there's a lot to do, and there's a lot of not telling you what to do.
There's too much to do in that game.
There is, because there's vantage points and there's like collectibles and flowers and and there is. It is borderline. In fact, probably not borderline. Probably there is too much to do. I'd agree with you, Neil. But I am getting into it.
All these games seem to be the same though right now, in the fact that they have to give you this option of, here's our open world game. Your story's probably going to take 20 to 30 hours, maybe whatever. But there's another 60 hours of you wasting your time in the world, and we'll give you all this stuff to do. Sounds like Horizon Zero Dawn did it. Immortals Phoenix Rising was the same.
It's a Ubisoft game made by Sony.
Assassin's Creed are all like that.
Yeah, I think they're all afraid of, it's only 20 hours long.
Yeah.
That's what they're afraid of.
Right. The problem is they've spent an absolute fortune making this game. They need to get some returns on it and make people.
Yeah, well, they're doing a TV show, aren't they? I think of Horizon. I think, but which would work.
Well, I hope the acting's better in the TV show than it is in the game, because everyone fucking lauded it for that, and I was a bit like.
Yeah, she's a cool character. She looks cool, and what she's about is cool. But
cutscenes are
she talks. Everybody's hair is twitching, which really bothers me. Like their hair's like always like twitching like this, and I can't concentrate on that. So it's you know what, I've done a little bit of a 180 on Horizon Zero Dawn. I think it's not easy. It's not easy when you start it out, and it's actually quite difficult. But once you start upgrading your weapons and you get better arrows and you figure out where to shoot and aim on the robots, it's pretty good. So I'm impressed. I'm impressed with it.
Start it and have a break, or did you?
No, I'm sort of. I've been battering it this week. To be fair, no, I did have a break. You're right, Neil. Yeah, I did have about a month's break, and it was really daunting to come back to it. And I was on the edge of like, should I even bother? Should I just give up?
Jump into the new one.
Yeah, jump into the new one. But I didn't. I persevered, and I've been hammering it this week. I have been like absolutely battering it this week. So yeah, I'm fairly in. I'm going to finish it. I'm definitely going to get it done.
Yeah, that's a bit similar to like. I mean, I had a fucking 2 or 3 year break between what I started and then when I continued.
Yeah,
and I just completely forgotten a load of stuff.
Yeah,
and I made it a lot harder for myself by fucking forgetting all this shit.
You can't. Yeah, and that's not a fault of the game. I mean, like other games do that. Like I was playing like I remember having a break from like Batman or something like that, and I loved Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham Knight. Came back to it, I was like, Jesus Christ, I love this game. I don't even know how to do anything. And Ghost of Tsushima, I played the DLC recently, and it took me a good half an hour to an hour to realise like, right, what am I doing? How do I do everything? So that's just gaming, isn't it? But
So you've got
yeah,
the PS Plus on the PlayStation, have you?
I've got the top tier PlayStation Plus
Ooh, top
thing.
tier.
Yeah,
So you streamed any
yeah.
old PS2 games or whatever?
Well, I don't have an Elgato streaming thing that can
No, you don't
do
know. If
it
you've got top tier PS Plus, you can you stream the games like cloud gaming.
straight from the PlayStation. No, I haven't done that. No, I haven't
No.
done any of that. No. But I haven't really downloaded anything. I've just got it, and I'll look at it later because I never, like I said earlier, I never really had a PS2 properly, so it's a chance for me to sort of dive back. But a chap at work he's just started at my work, and he's a really nice guy, but he's a bit. I don't want to say anything bad about him, but he's a bit like, oh, I'll do that, and I'm like, you don't have to, and he just does it because he's dead keen and new. But he I was like, we was talking about the PlayStation 2, and he's brought in his PlayStation 2, bought this thing for 50 quid where you can just like hack it, and he's put on all these PS2 games on there just because we mentioned it once in a conversation. And I'm like, that's really nice. Like,
But
that's
it's
a
a
really cool
PS2.
thing. That's a really cool thing that you've done. But you didn't
But
have to
you
do
hacked
it.
it, and now I'm calling the police, and you're going to jail.
Yeah, and you've lost your job. No, so like, you know what I mean? I was like, but you didn't need to do that. And he's like, no, I don't mind. So
You've just been waiting
anyway,
for an excuse to do that, by the sound of it.
yeah, so probably, but we've got a PS2 in the office now, which everybody's been sort of rinsing and playing Crazy Taxi on and
PS2,
all
man.
that.
Who's got? Oh, man. Can you put? You can't do anything other than
We-
put CDs in that thing, I assume, or is there like a
No,
weird?
no. So the way he did it was he bought this memory card thing and this thing that goes into the
Yeah.
back, and the thing on the back is just a HDMI converter, so that's nothing fancy. But remember back in the day when you used to have to chip your PS2 and all this stuff? Don't have to do any of that now. All you have to do is put this memory card in, plug it in,
The
done,
RAV4, yeah, RAV4
done,
card.
and it
Yeah.
was impressive.
You
I was
still
like,
need
that's
stuff like the
No.
games have to be on a disc.
no.
What?
No, they're
How have
just
they loaded
on the RAV4 cards. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not hacked.
Was it like an
it's
SD card you stick in then or something?
Yeah, it's
It's reading from the PS2 cards that
Right,
used to be
okay.
like a 16 meg. Now they're, I don't know,
Fucking like a billion.
gigs. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's because the PlayStation 2s were set up.
They were on DVDs,
to-
weren't they? PS2s.
They were on DVDs, but they're also set up that you could buy small games and have them read from the PlayStation cards.
Oh, that
Because
sounds
Right.
like something they would have done in Japan or something like that, right? Do we ever see
Yeah.
that in the
I
West?
think there was maybe one, maybe two. There might have been like some demos or something. I remember
PS2, you had to
reading
buy
about it.
you had to buy an adapter to go online, didn't you, for the PS2? Like a
Yes.
plug something.
It
you just
depends
plug
which
in.
version. No,
Yeah, I think the original version. But...
the slim version ended up having an Ethernet port.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I went.
Yeah, look, so we've got this PS2 in the office, and everybody's getting nostalgic. But I haven't downloaded any PS2 games. For
Tiger
the top
Woods.
Tier one. Is that well? Yeah. What are the
Thing
what
is,
are
you can
the
probably play that
games I
anyway
need?
on anything, couldn't it?
PS2 games are showing their age. Let's be fair.
Yeah. What's on the PS2 that I missed out on?
Wipeout? Was it
Time
Wipeout?
Splitters.
Metal Gear
Time Splitters. You
Solid
can't
2.
get that elsewhere, can you?
I think it was on the GameCube.
Time Splitters was on Xbox.
How was it?
Yeah, but you ain't got an Xbox on the thing. He's got that PS2.
I have. I've got one under there. Well, original.
OG.
OG.
Yeah, and that's hacked as well. That's got like tons of fucking shit on it, like SNES games, like 64 games. That's got loads of stuff on it. Amiga games.
Oh, Vice
Yeah,
City. There you go. That's a good one.
Yeah.
GTA Vice City.
I've got Vice City on my PS5.
Have you really?
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Not the OG one though. I bet it's
yeah,
been
the LG
remastered.
one. Yeah, the LG one, not the
Is
remastered
it?
one. Yeah, it's the proper one.
Oh
Yeah.
mate, that must look fucking blocky as hell.
Oh yeah, I should stream that, shouldn't I? OG GTA 3, like not remastered, and just let people watch it. Yeah.
How can you actually like?
It's
play
probably a
this?
better
Yeah.
version, to be fair.
Probably. Yeah, probably is. Yeah.
I'm a bit skeptical about going back to old games, because they're old games.
Old
Yeah.
games are old.
But it doesn't.
I
It doesn't.
want my memory of them to be.
Yeah, but like I think that
good.
about GoldenEye. GoldenEye was like one of my favorite
Oh
childhood.
god, no shit.
But like GoldenEye's obviously bad now. But I have played it recently, but it hasn't ruined my I was like, I still had fun like back in the day.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter, you know. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like they
What
are.
on a N64 controller?
Yeah, I played it recently on an N64 controller on
Right.
my old N64, my original
Okay.
N64,
Okay.
and yeah, it was bad, but
'Cause-
like,
yeah,
but those
I
memories
completely
I've got
forgot.
of it are still fine.
Yeah, I completely forgot that you only had one analog controller and you had to control the
Yeah,
gun with the
yeah,
Z. And
that's
was
right.
it the Z? Oh my god, yeah,
You,
you had
you
to.
the Z is the shoot, which is
Yeah,
at the back in the middle,
that's,
and then the
is it
C,
right bumper?
the
Or...
C, the basically it works the opposite of how elastics work now. So like
Hmm.
you would turn and walk forward with the
Yeah.
same stick, the left stick. Like,
Yeah, it's really
yeah,
fucked up.
it's really
It's
weird.
like, how did
It's
anyone ever
Um,
do this before?
yeah, bizarre.
Anything else, Mike?
No, just mainly that and a little bit of Power Wash Simulator on my shows. So.
never
Dave?
be ashamed. I played a few games this week. I
Don't
on
take
the
this
back.
the wrong way, Dave. I've got to go for a pee break, so I'm just gonna.
Alright,
Actually, what are you talking about first?
Ember.
Oh yeah, I want to hear this.
Yeah, I can't remember who recommended it last week. Somebody said play
Martin,
Ember.
No, it's
not
just
Marty
Martin
Fishlips.
Caldwell.
Yes, well done,
Marty.
Fraser. You remember the name.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's quite good. It's on Game Pass. It's um, yeah. You jump into buildings and put fires out and rescue people, and then there is also an element that you've got to sort of steal shit to earn money.
What the
You get the
fuck?
valuables and
So
you put
you're
them
a
out.
firefighter and a burglar.
Basically, yeah.
Oh my god, that
And then
sounds great.
and then you use that money to upgrade your equipment. It's kind of like it's a bit like Power Wash Simulator in that there's fire. You've got to sort of
You
like
wash it.
get
You wash the
you pop
fire
it in full
away.
of water, but then you also pick up shit.
It's
Um,
like Power Wash Simulator, but with your dignity intact.
Not really, because you're stealing stuff.
um, but I only played single player, but there is a multiplayer part that as I played the single player, I thought actually this might be quite fun. Playing it as multiplayer. And yeah, it's quite good. There is a little bit of sort of monetary. There's a few things that you can only buy with coins or diamonds that I think you've got to pay real world money
Is
for,
it?
and there is. I think so, unless I've completely misinterpreted it, um, and got that completely wrong. And you earn those coins by doing certain missions and stuff. But
Can you grief your friends?
I haven't played it multiplayer. I suspect you can because the water has a power, so like you can push things with a directed close stream of water. So if you really wanted to push people into the fire, you can, I guess.
Ooh.
But yeah, it's on Game Pass. It's free. It's it's a good mechanic of putting out these fires and yeah, like rescuing. You've got little objectives.
You
I
have to
played
get
it for
cats
about
out of trees.
I haven't had to get any cats. I've had to rescue lots of people from toilets because people lock themselves in toilets. And
That's the
yeah.
safest room in the house, as everyone knows.
So yeah. So thank you for that recommendation. I wouldn't have downloaded it and played it on Game Pass if it wasn't said about last week. And yeah, it will be on my continue to be installed and played when
I
I'm
can't
ready
remember if I
list.
downloaded it or not. I think I may have it. I know I can access it at least.
Yeah, I don't know if it's on the streamable list or not, but it's not that big. It's about a gig. Took a couple of minutes to download. I'll talk about CK3 next for you, Neil.
Crusader Kings 3.
Crusader Kings 3. I've got back into that.
Apparently so.
Yeah. In the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, I've probably put about 10 hours into it.
What is Crusader Kings? Remind me. I do sort of I've heard
Crusader
of it.
Kings is you play as your player character, which can be um uh anybody
Medieval times, yes. Is that right?
throughout the realm of either a courtier, a duke, a king, an emperor, and you sort of oversee your kingdom when you actually get quite far through it.
Is this the one? Is this the game where the bloodlines are important and the traits and things like that, and you can end up marrying your cousin or something like that, or
like a
whatever?
real royal family.
Can't you marry your dog or something like that? Or there's some weird stuff in it.
You can get a dog. You can't marry the dogs.
That'll be a mod, guaranteed.
A furry edition. You
Oh, what?
a furry.
Furry
What's
edition.
a furry?
What's a
Dave?
furry?
Do we
Have
really
a
need
look.
to explain to you what a furry is?
Have a look on Google what a furry is. Somebody who likes to dress up in dog costumes.
If you really want to be like, like detail about it, just type in "let's get anal about furries" and just type in that, and you'll get some great images on what furries are.
Perfect.
You type that into your AI art bot.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, okay. I won't do that.
I don't know why I played it a lot previously. I saw there was a new update. I didn't actually purchase the update. There's a new purchasable upgrade. But I saw there was an update to it. I played it, and then I got sucked back into it. I think because I'm not playing Factorio at the moment. This is my next.
Something had to fill the void.
I can't keep up with what's going on the video of like this stream. It's just like non-stop. Someone clicking. I'm like, what the fuck are they doing?
There's a lot of
I don't know what's
things
going
to
on.
do. So basically, where I'm at the moment is I am Emperor of Britain. I started off as Ireland, a duchy in Ireland, and then I sort of conquered my way to becoming Emperor of Britain. And yeah, it's there's lots of management of you gotta manage your vassals, you gotta manage like your subjects and your court.
Can you raise
and
taxes?
You can raise taxes.
Can you reduce energy bills?
Yeah, there isn't energy. No, there isn't energy bills
You
as
reduce
such.
the price of wood, basically.
You can build wood lodgings or wood logging areas. And it's a management sim. And it's quite good. So yeah, I've been putting lots
It's
of
on
hours
Game
into
Pass,
that.
isn't it?
It is on Game Pass on the Xbox. Yeah,
Xbox and PC.
I've got it on Steam. Yeah. I purchased it and play it through Steam.
Can you?
Yeah.
Is it all European? Do you have to be in Europe? Like,
No.
or can you be like
No.
anywhere in the world?
Between East Asia, so it doesn't include. It doesn't include
Eurasia.
It doesn't include like Australia or New Zealand or
The New
Africa.
Worlds.
Or the New World, yeah. Or America, but anywhere
That'll be
from
a new world.
Yeah, anywhere from England to Eastern Asia. Yeah, and it's good. So I started off as Ireland on that, and that's basically the easy path. But you can you can start as any character that they have in like a set time zone, starting from like the 860s,
860s.
up until like the 1200s. It's the medieval period. And yeah, it's interesting. Keeps me busy. The other game I was going to play, or I was going to talk about, I've played a little bit of, is a game called Despots Game Dystopian Army Builder. And I don't really know what to say about it.
I don't know if I've got the right video queued up, because to be honest, I'm assuming it's this thing. There's lots of pink-looking figures. Looks like it's an auto battler. Is that correct?
It's an auto battler.
Right. Okay. I think I've got the
What's
right
the name of the game again, Dave?
Despots Game Dystopian Army Builder.
Okay.
So Despot, Despots game. Yeah, that's the one. Neil's got it on stream. It's auto battler. The premise is that you're chucked into a dungeon by a alien or hellscape ruler, and you've got a few people, and you basically have got to battle your way through a maze with the humans, the pink things that Neil described them as. The main aim of the game is you've got to create you get certain weapons in certain categories, and you've got to get a good balance of defense, range, and various other different types of attacks or defense together, like healing and stuff like that. And the dungeons get more and more difficult, and then so some of your characters die. You can buy new humans, you can buy new weapons for them. It's an auto battler, and it's a kind of bit of dice rolly in that it depends on what weapons you got, or depends on how the maze is sort of constructed, and how difficult it's going to be, and what you're up against. It's an interesting one. I've played hour and a half, 2 hours of it. It's a really easy play once or twice. Get as far as you can. You get upgrades, and you get the further you go, and the different types of weapons and combos that you create unlocks additional things that can be rolled.
Where are you playing this, Dave?
On Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't know if I saw somebody playing it or saw a review or something, but I definitely saw something, and I think I had it on my wish list. I was like, that's a tenner. I've got
Tenner?
something to spend.
How much?
Tenner.
Greedy devs.
I know. I was looking at it going,
And with you having just splashed out for that mouse.
I know. I was looking at it going,
Come free with the mouse.
Have I played 2 hours, more than 2 hours? Yeah, I've played more than 2 hours.
I'll buy a really flashy Pro MLG gaming mouse.
I know,
and give it a test run with this.
A GPU last a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I'll buy a really good graphics card, a really good mouse. I'll play a fucking shit
8-bit looking game.
Yeah.
Dave, did you actually do that? Did you look at how many hours you played it just so you could take it back, or?
I did kind of I gave it a quick look.
Oh, what? To refund it? You did
refund it, yeah.
Oh, did you refund it?
So it's definitely not a recommend then.
It's I don't know. 104 minutes.
Just refund it anyway.
Ooh, that's definitely within the 2 hours.
They're going to come up. Basically, what happens is, even if you're outside the 2 hours, you're going to attempt to refund it. Some guy at the other end, and it's not even another guy. It's going to be some algorithm is going to go. He spends enough money, refund it. Right, good customer. He'll refund it.
Yeah,
he refunds a lot though, doesn't he?
Wow.
Yeah, but he still
refunds good games.
Yeah, which I'll let you go on to.
All right.
Have you done?
Okay. Well, look. Let's. I've been playing Mighty Goose. I'll go, Neil. Right, if that's okay. I've been playing Mighty Goose, which was on Xbox Game Pass.
How much of this have you played?
I've played about 10 minutes of this game, but it did raise some laughs with us because Neil was watching me play it yesterday.
It's like Metal Slug, but with a goose.
It's Metal Slug, but with a goose. Yeah, and you can press Y to make him honk, and that's all you need to know about why you should try this game, because he honks. But it looked like it looked like half decent shooter. It's just not really what I want to play, but it was a fun little diversion. I think, and again, it's
people play Metal Slug.
Yeah, this is the beauty of the Game Pass, is that you go on to the Game Pass and then you just try a little bit of this, you try a little bit of that, you try a little bit of some Goose shooting weapons and stuff, and you see if you like it.
It looks
So yeah,
pretty polished.
it's sort of like a cross between Broforce and Metal Slug,
Metal
I think.
Slug and like Contra and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean,
It's got a little
it's
bit
not.
of
I don't
humour
think
to
it's.
it.
Yeah, the shoot. And it kicked my ass after the first couple of
It's definitely not easy.
areas.
Really.
Yeah. I mean,
Either
I
that or
died in the
just
same.
rubbish. You
Yeah, well, there's a
I
bit
tell
of
you
that
what,
too.
geese are getting a resurgence, aren't they? Like people loving geese at the moment.
Yeah,
yeah.
well, it's funny.
Extended loving for the geese.
Oh, and when you die, you turn into like a cooked turkey.
A
right?
goose, maybe.
Well, I mean, it's a goose. Yeah, your goose.
Your
is
goose
like a
is
street-
cooked, obviously.
A
when you
Streets
die.
of Rage garbage chicken.
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. For sure. So yeah, that was all right. And anyway, that was on Game Pass. But yeah, again, I revert back. I don't think I've been playing anything else of any note. We revert back to Hunt Showdown, which is all we've been playing really all week.
Indeed, yeah.
That game, we're done now. If there was another game that was going to come along and completely ruin us, it's the Hunt Showdown. So all week, this was the week I really been putting in some time with Neil and Mark and Matt. Yeah, that game is revealing its secrets daily. The more we play it.
I haven't listened to the last episode of you guys, 140. So was you talking about this then?
Yeah.
A bit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what you really need, the basics of the Hunt Showdown is 2 or 3 of you, a solo, duo, or a trio. You get dropped into the map. There's clues you have to find to reveal where the bosses are. You can choose to go find those bosses and destroy them, and then pick up what's called a bounty, and then you try to get to an extraction point. The more stuff you do, like finding the clues, beating the bosses, killing other hunters, extracting the bounties, get you more points, which goes towards your character building up, getting more traits, so you go back in with a more powerful character into your next game. If you get killed, that's it. No more character.
What's walking around the map?
And around the map, it's basically it's sort of PUBG-ish,
it's like,
and like you have weapons and whatnot, but there's tons of zombies, tons of, apart from the player hazards of people ganking you and killing
there's
you,
only 12 players
or being
in a live
good
game, so
yeah,
there's only 12 humans, including your team.
So does this include, like, if you kill players, do more players come into your
No.
map, or is
No.
there
no?
Right.
So like that's the funny thing. Sometimes you could be looking and being really stealthy and worried about somebody finding you, and you have no idea that that actually everybody on the map is already dead. And you suddenly realize none of the bosses are being farmed, and so then you go in and you're like, shit, we've got this map to ourselves now. Everybody's killed themselves. Then you start then you start killing the boss, and you're like, "Wait, we picked up the bounty," and you scoot outside, and oh no, not everyone got killed. There's one guy who's waiting outside who ganks you, kills you, and then takes the bounties and fucks
the entire
off.
team.
And you're just like, oh my god, it's got that mentalness of a battle royale. But at the same time, like, you can go into a game, find a few clues, realize that people have already beaten the boss, escaped with the bounty, and you're like, you know what, we'll just leave anyway. And you extract,
another day.
Live to fight another day, right? And you get experience points.
So if you die, what happens?
If you die,
that's it.
If you're on your own and you die, you're dead. If you're in a duo and you die, your teammate can still get you up. There's no time limit on that, unless someone decides to burn your corpse.
So why is it so important to like extract yourself out?
Because you then get these extra abilities that you as much XP
you
as you
bank
get,
your experience.
You get XP for each mission, everything you do while you're alive and you escape. You get out, you come out, and you get your XP, get your dollars to buy a new character, new weapons, because you have to restock with weapons and fucking bombs or traps or first aid kits and all that stuff. You have to spend some currency to keep your
consumables,
weapons and everything ticking over, or new hunters.
Ammo. Is that ammo as well, is it?
No, you don't have to buy ammo. Unless it's
and then if you die, you start again.
So if you're literally dead, you have lost that character and lost any weapons they had on them, lost any fucking first aid kits and all of
Really?
that shit, you lose
The
them.
big thing is probably I think I'm finding is the traits. So there's like an absolute massive laundry list
They're
of
like
buffs
perks, sort of
you can buy.
perks.
Right.
Perks. Yeah.
Right.
So if you leave say you play a game and you extract with a load of bounties, you've killed a load of hunters, killed a load of zombies, killed a
This
load
never
of
happens,
dogs,
by
and
the
all
way.
that sort of stuff. This never happens to us. And then you get out and you've gained and your character has suddenly jumped from level 1 to level 15 or 16. And you get like 10 trait points. So now you go in and you spend the trait points, you buff him with like more silent ability or better weapon handling or something like that.
Or
And then
like,
you take him back.
like
Then he's more tooled up and you take him back in and you do more good stuff and you come back out again and then you buff him up again and you send him back in. Now at this point you're up to about a level 25 or 30 character. You start to get a little bit edgy. You're like, I don't really want this guy to die.
Right. Yeah.
But you can retire them. And if you retire them, then you get a ton of XP against yourself.
Right.
Yeah, there's multiple ways, like multiple branches of things like going on. There's a lot going on.
So what's the XP do then? Because if you retire the character, then you start
Because
from
the
a new
higher
character.
level you are as a player, as
Yeah.
say the master of the game,
Yeah.
there's more shit that's unlocked for your characters to have.
From
So
the get go, and
generally gaining XP is beneficial for you and your characters.
yeah.
And the characters gaining XP is beneficial for them because they get more powerful.
So, say for like example, the traits that we were talking about, you apply to your character. The higher your overall level, the more traits you have access to apply to your character.
Okay. Yeah. So that's smart because it puts stakes on your player character.
Yeah.
So you don't want to die, but
Yeah.
it also rewards you. You still have something if you do die, I suppose.
It caters. It does very, very well.
If you
in
die,
catering.
you get half XP of anything you did in the game, each game. So you're not. If you die, you lose your character and you lose whatever shit had on them, but you don't.
And then you
come
swear
away
profusely.
With nothing.
Yeah.
So,
I imagine,
but
that's bad. Yeah, you could have.
Yeah,
a
but it does a
character,
very good job of catering to different play styles. So Matt, some of us because we're old and shit, we're very conservative generally. So we tend to play a longer game where you start to figure out what's happening in the map and you suddenly realize nothing's happening over there. Maybe we can steal it, go in and steal and extract or hoover up dead bodies. We'll be bottom feeders of the game. Sometimes you get into scraps whether you like it or not. Other people
that's what I was going to
go
ask.
guns blazing and just want to fight, and they're good at fighting, and that benefits them. But sooner or later, someone's going to kill you, right?
If you pick up stuff in game, like somebody else's weapons that have dropped, do you keep them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You take them out. Okay. You can take them out with you. Yeah. So you can find some nice stuff too.
So there is a purpose to actually wait for everybody to kill themselves and then just go around.
Yeah.
Well, here's a good example of the way of the game, right? So Matt was playing. He had a level character. I think it was level 43. He was almost level 50 is like the highest thing your character can get. Right. So he was close to retiring this. So he said, "I'm going to go in. I'm going to play it really stealthy. Even if I don't do much, I'm going to get the experience to get this guy up to level 50." He goes in. Everybody on the map killed themselves. He grabs the bounty, so he's going to escape with the bounty, right? With a ton of XP. On the way, he gets ganked by a load of zombie dogs in his level, like not even by players. He got killed by a pack of dogs that he couldn't deal with properly. Like, that's the game, right? You start off. You have. It's funny, right? Because you start off things like you start the game off and you go, yeah, okay, we're gonna be really stealthy. We're gonna hit this bit and this hit bit. You turn the first corner. There's some lady there with a knife who's trying to stab you. Then some fireball dude comes, sets you on fire. Before you know it, the dogs are barking, crows are flying off everywhere. Everyone on the map, and you don't do anything silent because now you need to pull your shotgun out to kill all these things. Everyone on the map knows where you are. It's just, it's fun, man. I'm totally in. I'm all in.
Is this PUBG sort of all in? Is this?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Is this kind of like this is it now? This is your new thing?
Yeah, if you looked on our Discord, we've been playing it all week. It's been the game. 3 or 4 of us.
The only problem
is you didn't play this mode though. You haven't played this mode.
I didn't play. No. no, like, but I played it and was like, yeah, like this is too much for me, and I swear by that. It's like, yeah, that sounds very stressful for me. But it's only up to 3 players. That's the
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
problem. Is that
Oh, okay.
it's a maximum of 3 people.
You
on
can
the
go on
team,
your own
so...
though.
Oh, you can go on your
You
own.
can go
yeah.
on your own and play the same mode, because like I was playing, there's a different mode for single players called quick play, and that is
Right.
literally like a battle royale. You go in with random weapons, and there's 12 people on the map, and it's all about being the last one standing. There's no
Right.
like
How do they drive the players to
there's
fight
no
themselves?
zone. Like, well, the thing is, someone, like, you know, have your clues in your normal game. You have to collect the clues. In the quick play game, you collect 3 clues. You then find the location of something called the wellspring, which basically you have to stay there and absorb all the energy from the wellspring, and so that makes that person stay there. So that attracts, and then once
Why?
once someone has activated the wellspring, everyone else on the map knows exactly where the wellspring is. So they all basically go. There's no extraction in the quick play, so you can't just fuck off and leave. You have to be the last one standing, so to like survive the game. So everyone goes to where everyone knows where the person who's activated the wellspring is. They all go to the wellspring, and whoever survives wins the game. And then if you survive that game, you have a character that you can take into the normal version of the game called a sole survivor. They obviously have a load of stuff with them.
Oh, okay.
So there is a reason to play it, a quick play, but it's
what's the purpose
hard.
of setting off the wellspring though?
The wellspring is how you win the game. Like, if you absorb all the energy from the wellspring, you win.
Right.
So it's like, it basically kicks off a timer. So once the wellspring is activated, you say it's like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or whatever, and you've got to survive those 10 minutes. So everyone then, like, and once those 10 minutes are up, whoever's alive still, if you aren't the person who activated everyone dies. Everyone else dies. Whoever activated the wellspring, it survives.
Oh, okay, right, okay,
Yeah.
Got it. So it's in your advantage to
So
kick
the
that
only way
wellspring off.
to get out of that game is to, like, you either kill the guy who activated the wellspring, or the one who killed the guy who activated the wellspring. So you basically literally have to be the last one standing with the wellspring. If you're not got the wellspring in the quick play, you're dead when the timer runs out.
And can you not leave the wellspring area? No. If you leave the wellspring area, then...
I don't think so. No, you have to stay within a certain radius of the thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's interesting.
Anyways,
it's proper hardcore.
That's kind of new though. I haven't really heard of that before. If that's like something that's really old, but I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, I think the big thing with the hunt is they've cleverly made a game mode there which rewards you for not winning, in a way. Like, you still get rewarded for not winning. Like, you can take something away from the game.
Just surviving it in the normal in the hunt, whatever is it called, the hunt? Can't remember what it's actually called, but
bounty hunt.
Yeah, bounty hunt. Yeah. So if you survive, just surviving, you can still extract. If the people who kill the bosses or collect the bounties, well, when you kill the boss, they drop the bounce. Like, you have to banish them, which takes 5 minutes probably you have to basically wait around for them to basically be dead for 5 minutes, and then they drop bounties. Then you collect the bounties, and that's your time to get the fuck out, basically.
Yeah, there's a number of other mechanics in there which are very, very key and clever. Like,
in driving people to, like, together to combat.
Yeah, right. It's very, very it's well worth a look.
Is it a learning? It sounds like a steep learning curve. Or is
I don't know about steep. Like, there's definitely like some combat skill you need to get on.
We are 20 to 30. We're 30. What are we? About 30 hours in, and we definitely do not understand everything that's going on.
No, there is a lot to it.
We're still figuring it out. Is it steep? I guess maybe, but it was fun, so didn't really know.
If you go in with people you can have a laugh.
Yeah.
If you're playing the solo quick play, it's definitely not a laugh.
Right. Well, here's the decider: is that how many times has Fraser got upset with somebody because they didn't do what he wanted?
He's never rage quit yet, I don't think. He's got angry. And, like, said, "I think I've done," but he's never actually shouted at anyone, I don't think, for doing something yet.
No.
Yeah, I haven't obviously played with him on this yet.
No. Well, we're trying to figure out.
Dave, what are you doing? Why are you?
I know
you the building.
There is, I think you have to, it is like it that.
The closest he got to being angry with someone else is when me and Fraser were both dead, and Matt just ran away basically and hid. It was like, "Are you not going to come and get us?" No, not really. I'm just going to hide. I'm like, okay. Can you not try and shoot
Well,
these people?
Matt is a very methodical and cranial guy, right? And his mission is he's almost perfecting. You can see he's always trying to perfect what is the maximum return, and how do I do that? How do I?
He's a maximizer, yeah.
But he will play a game. He will sit and wait in bushes for 20 minutes. He has no qualms about doing that. He's very, very methodical.
He's in it to win.
He's in it to win it, and he wants to figure it out. Yeah, and whereas we go off the rails a bit, and I think we did that yesterday. We're like, well, fuck it. We lost all our main characters. We had new characters. We're like, fuck it, let's go in and fight.
This is a level
let's
1
see
guy.
what happens.
There's nothing to risk here. Fuck it. Let's go and fucking have some aggro and go and fucking shoot people.
And then
he was like, no,
we went in for
let's just do this.
We went in for
no, let's fucking go and kill some people.
So anyway, it comes highly recommended at the moment.
It's got a bit of everything for everybody.
It's never going to reach PUBG levels, is it? But sounds good. Sounds intriguing.
It's on half price on Steam.
Come on in.
£18. Fuck all.
Oh, that's nothing. It's cheaper than a wired controller. Yeah, so that's Hunt Showdown. There'll be more, so shan't dwell on that. What else we got?
We've always been on it for a good 15 minutes there, whatever.
Well, we'll dwell on it again for another 15 next week.
Are you done? Is that everything for you?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Well, I played a little bit of Gran Turismo 7 on my PS5 earlier. Was Mint Safe popped in the Discord to say there is a weekly time trial mode where you can earn some credits if you come within the top 5% or whatever. So you basically go in and do a lap, or like in my case, 50 laps maybe or something. We're trying to get the quickest time in a selected class of car, or they'll give you cars to do it with if you don't have the right class.
Gran Turismo copied the race line thing.
They probably started it, to be fair, didn't they? The race line thing?
That was a Forza thing.
No, they definitely did not. Forza had it, yeah.
Forza. The first time I saw
Forza
that was
were
Forza.
the first people, but
you can turn that shit
Gran
off
Turismo
basically
didn't
anyway.
The first time I saw that race line was Forza 1 on the original Xbox.
It doesn't tell you where to brake though on Gran Turismo. It's still hard because you still have to work out where to brake.
Are you more of a Gran Turismo fan?
I've not played a Gran Turismo since probably 3, I reckon.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I was a super fan. I never had any of them on PS4. Never played it on PS4. And on PS3, the controller was so shit for driving games that I probably didn't play a lot of it on there either. I think it was probably PS2 was the last time. Was that 2? Gran Turismo 2, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, Gran Turismo 7 is not without its faults. It looks fucking amazing, as I said before. And this, like a weekly hot lap challenge, is in the sport mode of Gran Turismo, which is like the sort of hardcore multiplayer mode, where you go, if you like want to have like a driver ranking and stuff like that. So if you crash into people, you'll basically be like automatically penalized by the game and stuff like that, and basically have a pretty shit time. So you have to be a clean driver, I haven't done any actual racing in the sport mode. I just started it today doing this hot lapping, and I have not succeeded in getting into the top 5% of this week's race.
Oh dear!
It's fucking hard this week. I can't remember what track it is, whatever. Anyway, so you're driving like a Group 2 car, which there's only a select number of Japanese manufacturers that make Group 2 cars, and yeah, it's hard.
Are you impressed with the graphics?
The graphics are amazing. So,
because I'm looking at it and it looks a bit wooden. Well, or am I just wrong? Tell me I'm wrong.
You're only watching my shit stream, to be fair. You're not seeing it how it is. Like, I'm playing it, it's 4K, HDR, the fucking full shebang.
You know
when
what
you're
it bothers?
playing.
You know what I think it is like how locked the camera is to the back of the car.
Yeah, I don't play in the car. I don't play chase camera. That's shit.
No.
I play cockpit camera.
Yeah.
So you can
like
see
a
the steering wheel and
proper.
everything. Yeah, it's fucking.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
really
do that.
good.
I'm a massive pussy driver, so I drive this way.
Yeah, I've not actually tried it outside of the. I've not tried chase cam, but I know what you mean. It is locked very
It's very locked. It's
stuck to the camera.
very stiff, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
whereas like Forza and I think like other like say like
You
GTR,
get a
they're a
little
bit.
bit of like
You
when you
get a
come
little bit
to a
of wobble,
corner,
yeah.
it will sort of
Yeah.
shift the camera so you can see the corner.
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff.
like it's almost like it's being followed by a
Yeah.
cameraman, where this looks
Yeah.
like it's being followed by a fucking robot.
It's like I've got a fucking pole
Yeah.
on the back of the car
Yeah.
where the camera is. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and it looks really weird. I know it's
Yeah.
only a little thing to niggle on, but it's the first thing I saw. I was like, it makes it look really dated.
Yeah. See, I just don't play it like that, so I don't notice this.
I imagine the reason why it's like that is because the developers probably don't play it like that either. They probably play it in the cockpit. Like,
I don't know. Maybe it's to do with making it, I don't know, easier to sort of drive, I guess. But yeah, I don't play like that. I play with the sort of helmet camera, as it were. So you're as if you were the driver of the car, which I find to be extremely good. And each car looks totally different inside, and you're either driving on the right of the car or the left of the car, so you need to fucking take that into account. Or some cars, like the McLaren F1, you are smack bang in the middle of the car.
in the middle. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's cool.
Helmet cam in the cockpit.
Yes, indeed. The way I like it.
So how close were you to?
Oh, mate, fucking! I did a 128.08. I think was my best time, and the best times in the world are 122, and a gold time was 124 point something or other, and a silver time was 126.5 or whatever. So I'm like a second and a half off a silver time, which is where you can earn 1 million credits. But when I look at the top 10 or whatever, they're all like, you can view like the player profiles and load the ghosts and all that shit, so you can follow them.
Oh yeah.
And the profiles were like, oh yeah, so there's like a little blurb. So yeah, I'm a GT7 Pro driver for this Prima Esports guy. I'm like, well, I'm not fucking gonna get anywhere near you then, am I? So it's but it's not some random fucking cheater, obviously. So that's the good thing, like because when you half the time when you go to like
What's
some
it like
leaderboard.
watching them? I bet it's interesting watching them now.
Yeah, well, like I say, I loaded one of the top guy Ghost, and I managed to make it like 2 corners before they basically disappeared in front of me. But I couldn't see them anymore. It was just like, oh, you took that line through that corner, did you? Oh, I can't be asked to fucking drive this any more times in this, because they were in a different car. And I was like, not really getting on with this car. So I'll be chipping around for that for a long time. It's very good. It's very polished.
Yeah, those weekly things definitely give you an incentive to go back to.
Yeah, like I said before, I sort of finished all of the sort of main sort of single player progress. I did chalk off one of my extra menus to this week by just going and buying the cars dirt cheap. But yeah, it's Gran Turismo. You either like it or you don't, basically. It is very good, though, in my opinion.
Because they took ages making this one, didn't they?
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time, and like I say, I didn't play it on PS4.
Don't forget, what was the Gran Turismo that was supposed to come out on the PS3, and it took so long.
Well, there was a prototype
that they had to do a prologue.
Was it GT4?
I think it was 5, wasn't it?
Maybe it was 5.
But it was called something prologue, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was prologue, and then there was the proper game that came out eventually. It was like fucking 2 years after that came out.
Yeah.
And then on the PS4, I guess there was GT Sport, like an in between, like a slimmed down, basically just multiplayer mode.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, people were sort of kicking off about it.
Yeah, they were not happy about not being the fucking the full game. And then I don't know if it's been that long since GT6, to be fair, but it's probably just built on that.
Yeah, but they, I mean, when you've got like the Forza machine, and banging one of these things every year.
Well, it's been a while since there's been a motorsport. To be fair,
GT6 was 2013 on the PlayStation 4.
Fucking hell, that is a long time ago.
3.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. When was
GT6.
GT5?
Oh, sorry. So GT Sport was the only one on PS4.
2008.
2009. Yeah.
GT5 was 2010.
Wow.
2010. Oh, so they got 5 and 6 out pretty close together.
But yeah, there was a Sport, GT Sport, which is, like I say, it was all multiplayer racing basically. The last one that came. But yeah, I like it. Well, I like racing games. So
Yeah.
um,
Good. Are you not a Forza fan then, Neil? Or you
I like
are?
Forza, but I've got to be honest. I went back and played some Forza 7 on my Xbox One. That game looks shit. I used to think it looked quite good, but it might be better on the Series X, I guess. But after playing GT7, then going back to the 7, I was like, man, this is rough.
I played a bit of the Forza. What's the latest Horizon? Is it 5?
Mm.
Yeah, I thought that was okay. Like it's okay.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
I mean, it's completely
It's
different.
more Forza Horizon.
It's a different
Yeah.
style of game than Gran Turismo, that's for sure. There's no open world
entirely
traveling between
different way of
environments in
flying.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a good thing that you have such a big time between these games being released. You know, it's nice and fresh, and it's GT7 and
Well,
Yeah,
Gran
that's
Turismo again.
that's
There's
it,
something to be
yeah.
said for that,
the
isn't
thing
there?
with Gran
Definitely.
Turismo is that I don't really think Forza has. There's like a big, proper like professional esports scene with Gran Turismo, with like
Right.
celebrities inverted commas involved. Like Lewis Hamilton's like sponsored. He's always got Gran Turismo sponsored and fucking shit on him.
Oh, has he?
There's a page in Gran Turismo 7 just about Lewis Hamilton.
Okay.
So it's like it's proper. But it's also like commercial, I guess, in a way. So, but the racing's pretty. I mean, it feels like that controller. You might, Mike. I don't know. Have you played an actual PS5 game yet?
Yeah, well,
Playing Zero Dawn.
I haven't played a PS5 game. No.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
no.
you say you've got PS Plus, didn't you?
Yes.
So Deathloop is on.
Yes. I would try that. Yeah.
That's got fancy triggers and stuff like that. So you need to check out.
Because that
stuff.
Astrobot has got all that fancy.
Oh yeah. That's cool.
Because that I would try as well.
Have you not played it yet?
No, but I've heard,
definitely think you should. It's a very good demo of all of the fancy stuff in the control.
Yeah, if you, yeah, I need
Take
to.
take your machine out, Mike, and give it a proper spin. Find out what the baby can do.
Yeah. Stop fucking doing a bit of Sunday driving. Right around.
Yeah. Open it
I have
up.
to go down the country lanes, Mike. Come on.
Yeah.
Speaking of doing stuff or whatever.
Just let the bad last 2.5 hours of the show.
I've had a few beers now. I'm sort of struggling. So I've saved the most complicated game right till the end.
Okay.
So I've been playing a game that hit Game Pass this week. Been banging on about the old Zachtronics games recently. They've been
Zachtronics are the industry darlings for us right now.
Yeah. So we had that last Cool BBS with a multitude of different games on it, and what else have we talked about recently?
Exapunks.
Did I talk about Exapunks? I did last week.
I think you
that
did,
was full on fucking computer programming.
And then Shenzhen IO.
Yeah, that's another one that's all like fucking computer programming.
The funny thing is, the Zachtronics are the industry darlings for us at the moment, but all I really play is that Dungeons and Diagrams sub game of one of the games they made. I can't play it. The other ones are too hard.
You know when you're saying like why I'm bored of video games? This is why. Because of these types of games.
Well, this game is fucking good if you like puzzles.
Savage.
And I know your friend Duke Scaff has played this game, Eric.
Has he?
And he's given it a favourable review on Steam as well.
Oh, he does
this
like
game
reviewing on Steam.
Has just hit Game
He likes a
Pass,
puzzle.
and it is called Opus Magnum.
Oh yes, I remember him talking about this.
And it is a Zachtronics game, as we've been talking about, and it's I guess you could call it programming, but it's all done via. Like, there's no typing of actual code like there is in the other games. You are placing items on like a hexagonal grid.
Yes.
And basically, the idea is you're an alchemist, and you have to create.
It's all coming back now.
You have to create molecules from
PTSD.
atoms. But
he came to get away from this.
It's really fucking good. And
Yeah.
like you get a problem that you have to solve, and
So you have
there's
to
many
create a
ways to
shape,
make a
don't you?
solution of like you're basically replacing multiple different things. It's like you're basically creating a machine to do a job, and you have to give it the instructions and in the correct order. Like you can place multiple aspects of each of this machine, like cogs and stuff like that, effectively, and you have to tell each thing what to do in the correct order for it to basically create a product at the end of it.
What's the product? I can't remember.
It can
now.
be multiple different, like as you go through the game, you'll have basically a different. Each puzzle is to create a different product at the end of it, and there'll be different things you have to do.
It's a shape we're like.
It's like a
created in
molecule.
certain
You've seen
way.
like a molecules, like
Right.
with like things
Yeah,
like
I'm with you.
bonds and stuff like that. You're basically creating a molecule,
Yeah.
but it's like a 2D one, not 3D. That would be fucking hardcore. So you're pushing things around, rotating things, picking up a thing, rotating it. Everything's like on a hexagonal grid, like I say. So everything works in like rotations of 60 degrees, so and stuff like that. And you can like push things out. Different types of arms that grab things will like push things further away. Or
I love the
them
fact we
nearer
have
to you.
video.
It's really fucking
we have
complicated.
video for those listening on that. I just this 1,000-yard stairs just come over Mike. And
Anyway,
are you on board on this, Mike?
I can see the appeal. Again, this is one of these things. It's kind of like Elden Ring, where like I think I avoid it because I know it would require a lot of my brain.
it does
And-
require a lot of brain, in my
and-
case anyway.
I would go knee deep if I was in it. Do you know what I mean? I would be like, right, I'm in that. Maybe that's why I'm playing Power Wash Simulator, because I just don't want to think
This is
about
like the
that
opposite
shit.
of
But
that.
the thing,
Yeah.
but you see, the Power Wash Simulator, I got thrown off that when it came to do that bloody purple dinosaur in the park, having to go around the. I don't mind doing like just long bits that are straight, and I can just go.
Mm.
The nooks and crannies of the dinosaur drove me. That finished me. I couldn't do it. I didn't like the having to keep repositioning to do the Stegosaurus back and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That's my amazing story. Thank
Anyway, can we talk about the
That's
proper
my
game?
TED talk. Yeah, let's talk about a proper game.
So anyway, Opus Magnum.
Are we still on this? Right,
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Anyway, at the end of each, if you solve the puzzle, you are basically graded on how you've solved the puzzle. You're in 3 aspects. Like you have how much cost it is, because each item you use has a cost, which is like on the screen before you use it, and and there's also how many instructions you use to complete the process, and then how big an area you've used to complete the process. And you get a little thing that says, there's like a bar graph of like everyone else that's played the game, and obviously you want to be to the left of each graph, because the further to the left you are is the better you've done it versus everybody else. And
more
like,
efficient.
there's a bar graph, and like say I've done the one that I did most recently, I was well happy with, and I made a little GIF and put it in the Discord, because it was like a really compressed area, and there was quite a lot of instructions, but it was really compressed into a tiny little space, and it was really low cost, and it was, like I say, really small area, but it did have
It had one problem. It didn't work.
No, it works. It was fucking brilliant. It was like, you see all these little things moving around, and it's like, you're like, yes, man, that looks great. And then you move on to the next one, and it's even harder. There's like a consistent progression throughout there. Each puzzle, you're like, oof, that's a bit harder. And there'll be like I say, you have to pick up an atom of, say, whatever. And then sometimes you just place that atom into a puzzle. Sometimes you might need to change that atom into something else via another process to put it before you put it in the puzzle. There's loads of fucking like mechanics to it that you get more and
so
more.
Neil's getting like into my games now.
He's dipping his toe.
You fucking love this game, I swear.
Don't worry. We've got a rope around him. We'll pull him back when we need to. We're just letting him.
I'm still playing Hunt.
He's experimenting with his video game sexuality.
He's talking about processes and creating systems and like inputs and outputs and
Neil, you're flying too close to the sun.
The thing is, like, what you do is like maybe you solve a puzzle, and then you look at the result at the end of it, and it shows you those graphs, and you're like,
But
Well, I
like,
wasn't,
this is
I
the
wasn't very
Beatles,
good
and
at that bit, was I? So maybe I'll
I
go
feel
back
like
and try a different way of doing it.
this is the Beatles, and Dave is Yoko, and he's ruining Neil.
Come on, come
Yeah.
to the dark side.
I'm not playing Factorio, but I will play Opus Magnum until I've solved every puzzle.
See, I've got more of a temptation with Factorio, to be honest with you. Mainly because I know the guy who made all the music and stuff, so I felt like I should have played it by now. But yeah, I've watched that game from when it was like alpha, because Dan, who did all the music, was like showing me the game, and I was like, yeah, it looks like it could be good. And then little did I know it was like a fucking cult
Yeah.
hit. And yeah, I'm more into that. Like, I know it's the same sort of type of game, isn't it? But like, yeah, I'm because it's got like a bit more of a cooler setting, whereas this is sort of just bare bones, isn't it? It is
Well,
what
it's
it
just
is. Whereas,
Factorio is more of like a. Do you ever finish Factorio? I don't know. Is it like a?
Yes.
You
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
have
you
like
do.
a
because you
specific puzzle and then move on to a
Dave
different
never
puzzle, though, do you?
finishes Factorio.
Yeah,
I
but-
finished
Factorio
Factorio.
finishes Dave.
Yeah. We finished together. So
Ooh,
there is a win condition. I'll say that is
Yeah,
that
but that's
the
like
win.
you're all building up to a one final thing, right? Whereas this is loads of different puzzles.
yeah, it's a little bit different in that
Yeah.
sense, yeah. But it's the same itch. It's the same
Yeah.
itch, and yeah, I'm more into like the setting of Factorio and the fact that it's on this weird dystopian world, and
Well,
yeah.
there is
But
there's like
I
a
know.
little story going on throughout Opus
Oh, is
Magnum
that?
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
is it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're the new alchemist for the court or whatever, and like the last, I don't know what happened to the last one.
Do I have to
Can't remember.
read?
A little bit, not a lot. It's just
Wow.
like a little conversation between two people, and then you go into your puzzle.
Right.
You don't. You could
Yeah.
you could literally just go click 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 next puzzle.
It looks, but what I say about it looks like really well made and polished.
All of
and-
their games
Yeah.
are really well made. The music's always lovely, really good.
I think the thing is with this one is the comparing against what everybody else has done and how
They've all got
efficient
that
Yeah.
in
though. All of their games have that.
Oh, no, okay.
All of the ones with the coding, like literal typing of code, they all had like an assessment at the end of it, like
Oh, did you?
well,
Oh, okay.
so
I
many
missed that one,
people
so
solved
sad.
this puzzle with this many lines of code, and you took like this many lines of code, and or like it cost you had used these many like units to solve the puzzle, but you could have done it with like this many units. When you look at the graphs at the end of it, you're like, oh, okay, maybe I'll do that again then. Maybe there's obviously a more efficient way of doing everything. But yeah, the one I did make a gif of and put it just was like, well, I was like, well happy. It's like, yeah, just like for 4 different things like chunking at the same time, and they all like, which way? And you're like, yeah.
And then your wife asks you, like, "What are you excited about, darling?"
Nothing.
It's hard to explain. It's
I've given up explaining anything to my wife anymore.
yeah.
I'm a lost cause as far as she's concerned.
My wife hasn't played games for a long time. She used to play them quite a lot. She got really far into like Batman Arkham Asylum, and I showed her Horizon today, and she moved it around a little bit, and she was like, "I haven't played a game for years," but yeah, she used to be into them. But
I mean, that's hard. Like Horizon is hard if you just come in and you're already like 10 hours in.
she was just moving it around. She wasn't
Yeah.
like doing anything, but she was just like the controlling the camera and stuff like that. She was like, God, it's been a long time since she's done that. So yeah, but yeah,
Yeah, the golden age of video gaming. I think that was a little bit those Xbox 360 time when all those
I think-
Batman
yeah.
games were coming out. Everything, the consoles were good. They worked well. They produced really
Did they?
good looking
I had
games.
about 3 Xbox 360s. At
Yeah.
least
No,
3
not
Xbox
counting that. I mean,
360s.
once you got one that was working well.
I think when 3D, when people started to work out 3D, so like from, and there's always exceptions, aren't there? I know there's great games in the 90s and the 80s as well, but like when 3D came out, and then when people started to really work it out, like with games like GTA 3, and really start to figure things out, from that to when the consoles got a lot stronger in the 360 and the PS3 era, that to me is just like an absolute gem of a time for gaming. And we've come to this point where like, we can, I mean, you're talking about Opus Magnum, which is like just a 2D sort of programming game. It's like they've got to get smarter with. It's not just a bigger world anymore. You know what I mean? It's just like this open world is bigger. It's like, well, that's boring. We know that's boring now. So it's like, what else are they going to?
You've got to make it interesting. Like I say, like you can have the biggest open world there is, but if it's full of fuck all, It's not interesting, is
Yeah.
it? Like
No.
GTA 5 for all its greatness, I thought it was just too fucking big.
Yeah, I would disagree because they packed it with so much stuff. There's like there's so much things in there. And like Red Dead 2 is the same. It's like there's so much stuff in there. And I know I'm a big Red Dead fanboy and stuff, but I feel like Just Cause and games like that and Assassin's Creed are too big.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed
They're the
Odyssey is
ones.
just I couldn't be arsed with it after a while.
Well,
That was just like
there's
too
a
fucking
difference,
big.
isn't there, between
It's
too big and
repetition.
too much busy work to get around the map.
Yeah, although I guess
Like,
the thing with GTA has over Assassin's Creed is no leveling. Well, there is a bit of leveling, I guess, for me, like stamina and shit like that. But it's not like you are not literally gated away from doing anything in that fucking game. You can just go and do whatever you want. Just the thing is with me, there was always that distraction of just causing fucking mayhem, and that's all I ever ended up doing. Going, I'm going to try and get 5 stars and fucking escape, and then just get killed.
Yeah, it's just the like like you can go on a bus tour in GTA 5.
Yeah,
and just sit on the bus and listen to the bus tour. Do you know what I mean? Like you can go to the cinema and just watch a film, and it's just ridiculous. It's just
my son this week purchased GTA 5. First of all, he came into me on God knows sometime last week, desperately trying to get back into his Rockstar account. So we figured all that out, and then the next day, my son came to me figuring out how he could pay me to buy a copy of the game for him. And I was like, what the fuck? You already own it. He goes, no, I want to buy it. I'm buying it for a friend of mine so that we can play it together. People are still buying this game, right?
Yeah,
These
great.
kids are still into this. Adults are still into it. Sean this week told us he's gone back into GTA 5 role playing.
Yeah.
Randy Andy is back, people. We'll see if we can get Sean to stream some of that.
I think we should get Sean on as Randy. Like, just invite Randy on.
I think we did float that idea. We were going to do a phone in. Were we going to do a phone in with Randy Andy and some of the other guys role playing? I don't know. That sort of scared me. That did a little bit. It was a bit too weird.
Someone was asking for that, weren't they? I think.
So yeah, it's just amazing. It's still like, yeah.
Crazy.
All right. Well, look, I think that's a show. I'll be the one to put my hand up and say this might be a good point for me to stay. Anything else you guys want to cover, Mike?
No, but I just want to clarify. I do still enjoy doing the Veteran Gamers podcast. You know all that. When you was saying, I do still enjoy doing the show. It's just I'm a bit.
No, I totally get it.
I totally get it.
Now, I mean, one of the things. So this is how we have another 10-minute conversation.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I'm fascinated with now, and literally like really, really fascinated, is how podcasts are posting some fucking amazing show numbers now. Like I listened to one. What are you guys up to? 700 and.
No, 600 and we're close to 666. That's what I remember.
666, yeah. And I know I listened to another one. They're up to 800 or 900 right now. And they're just gaming podcasts that have just done it every week, right? It's just, it's nuts.
It is crazy, yeah.
I'd like to say I do still enjoy listening to the Veteran Gamers as well.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
At least somebody does.
No, we're big fans, but I mean, that's the thing. Like, I've listened to you for so long that for me, like, I've been on that journey, right? And so, again, right? It's over the course of the years. You see the way people change, the way the show changes.
It would have happened. It would have happened when between if I did a podcast and I was between the ages of 15 to 21, you would have seen me change from being obsessed with video games to completely going off them.
Right.
To going back on them again. Do you know what I mean? Because when you're 18, you don't care about video games so much because you're doing other things, right? So exactly. So it's just this part of my life where I'm 37 now. I'm 37, right? And just I suppose I've gone through an era of games where they've really discovered themselves and what they can do, and then almost not run out of ideas, but just coming up with ideas that I don't necessarily find that enjoyable. And then at some point,
there's so many things out there now. So many different things out there.
That's the other thing that's changed about video games is like we could before we could sort of keep up with every game, whereas video games now are like music. Whereas like it's impossible to keep up with everything. It's impossible. Like you cannot do that. Whereas back in the day, it was kind of like just there's 3 releases in this month and that's it. And there you
Yeah,
go.
you could cover all the releases every
Yeah,
week, right?
you
And
could
say,
potentially like play them. Do you know what I mean? Whereas now you can't even you don't even know about them. So there's just so much more coming out now.
Well, I mean, it might be funny. Like we're playing Hunt Showdown and talking about it now. It's been out like 3 years.
Yeah, yeah. And I'd never really heard of it. So,
it's like it's just been sleeping like almost like under the radar a bit.
Yeah.
well, we
And then
played with a friend of mine. He came and joined us. He's got 800 hours in it. I'm like, that's just. And
that's
we
great,
were,
isn't it?
and to bring him in and like get his knowledge for a couple of games was like invaluable, right? It was like, shit, we need to tap you for as much of your
Yeah.
expertise as quickly as
That's
possible.
useful.
Suck his
But
brain quickly.
it might have something to do with how disposable games are now because of Game Pass and things. Because it's I felt the same when I remember I got my 360 like chipped or whatever you call it like back in the day, and like games became just so like whatever, I don't really care, I'll just play that. And whereas if you buy them, you own them, and you batter them and you
You've
play.
already got an investment. You invest.
You got an investment, and they're
yeah.
just so like bleh now. You're just like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. And, like
You don't mind a
just
chipped console here and there, do you, eh?
it sounds like I've chipped loads, doesn't it? But I suppose, yeah, I
Well,
never
let me
really.
see. Should we go? No, I'm not going to list them.
Yeah, I remember getting chucked off Xbox for chipping it. That one, I think I was playing Gears of War one night, and it just went
No,
off
it just went a big thing when I went no.
in the middle of a game. In the middle of a game, it just went off, and I was like, "That's weird." And yeah, they just did this like mass ban, and they
Yeah.
banned the console, not the account.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Brick the console, eh?
Brick the console, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Huh." And I read about it in the news. I was like, what can you
Shit.
do? You can't complain because
Just buy a new one.
you did the risk, and you got fucked up. And I went round my mate's house and put remember that hard drive, that top loading hard drive that he used to have.
Yeah.
I put mine in his, which wasn't chipped, and just checked that it would work, and bam, hey presto, perfect.
You banned
I was
him
like,
as well.
bollocks. Yeah, I banned him. Yeah, so like it was just a case of buy a new Xbox. So yeah, but the chipped.
I checked to see if my Switch was suitable for the
Oh
chipping.
yeah.
Chipping, yeah. And it was, or it is. And then I just was like, I started reading about doing it, and I was like, I honestly cannot be bothered.
You know what, Fraser? Since I had it chipped, I played it less.
Right.
So there is something to it. All this Game Pass stuff. There's definitely
I'm
something
not
to it.
lacking in video games enough to start chipping
That's the
consoles.
problem. Like I don't even know why I did it. I don't even know. I did it because
why did you climb the mountain, Mike?
Because I don't know.
Because it was fucking there, mate. That's why.
It was there. It
well,
was there.
I always see this. I always see like those kinds of things as young man's game. When you're young, you've got little money but so much time to play all these games. Now we're a bit older. We got more money but less time to play
have
these
we?
games. So, well,
not this winter.
yeah. Oh yeah.
My PC's heating my house this winter.
Just put the output blower into the living room.
Yeah.
Okay, well look, I'm gonna call it there. I just gotta say, Mike, absolute pleasure to have you on the show.
I'm really sorry.
Again.
You know what? I remember why you didn't have me on for so long now, because I talk too fucking much. That's why. I was
Not
like,
at
that's
all.
why.
Not at all. Not at all. You know it. It's all. It's
Well,
all great.
I'll say this before I go. There are a few podcasts that I savor, and I wait until I'm ready to. I'm like, I don't listen to that yet because I'm not in the right situation. I can't listen to it properly. Like sometimes I listen to podcasts before I go to bed, but I know I'm going to fall asleep, so I don't care if I miss it. But your podcast is one of those ones that I savor. I make sure that I'm listening to it. Love it. Love you guys. And meeting you properly in London was a good laugh. And I'm sorry I couldn't stick around longer, but hey.
Oh, it was sweet though, wasn't it? It was short but sweet. It was
but sweet.
quality, and believe me,
You missed
didn't
out.
miss much
No,
afterwards.
you missed much. No. You did miss out.
I did hear
didn't
about it, and
improve.
I was
It
like,
didn't improve.
I think I left at the perfect moment there.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah.
that was fantastic. Good.
But
All right.
we should do it again, and I'll
Definitely.
stick around longer this time. Yeah.
Well, okay, guys. Give our love to Stu and Duke on the.
I'll tell them that you hate the show. Yeah, no worries. I'll tell them.
Yeah, we're completely gone off it now. Yeah. Good. Okay. All right. Well, on that awkwardness, then.
No.
Yeah, it's funny what you say about savoring the shows, though. I'm the same. Like, there's a couple of that you just can't. You don't want to miss out on what on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your show, I'm like, no, I can't listen to this one. I'm going to bed because I want to hear it. I want to know what Fraser's up to. I want to know what Neil's moaning about. I want to know what weird.
We'll see how shit-faced Neil is this week.
Yeah, I want to know what weird bike trip Dave's got on or something. Yeah. So I do love this show. So, and you ask me so much, and every time you ask me, I can't do it. And when you asked me tonight, I was like, yes, I can do it. I can do it tonight.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, it's good. Good. All right. Well, you're welcome anytime, mate, of course.
Lovely.
Hopefully next week Pilch back in seat 4. Not hopefully, but I mean, you're welcome anytime, Mike. It's not that I'm not that's the backhanded sort of compliment or whatever straight away.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have Pilch back here. Dave and Neil, thanks very much. Good show this week. We'll be around online. Mike's going to buy the hunt and come out for some hunting with us.
Oh boy!
And until next time, then
we'll bully him into it.
We'll bully him.
I'm weak. He knows I'm weak. That's why.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
See you soon.
Cheers, guys. See you, mate.
Cheers.